There we go. Ayo, ever since I got the new graphics card and I had to reset the microphone, that you did, yes. Your amazing powers. Well, you were trying to rub me out. How dare you. Welcome folks. Welcome to yet another episode of Draw Bizzle, aka DrawBomb. Episode 115. How good does it feel to be a quarter of a way towards 30? Or no, 60 of the hundreds. One sec. Don't say any more words, people can't hear you. Yeah, I'm fixing it.
Oh, what?
There we go. Now you're fixed.
It's on your end. Okay.
Yeah. No, I could hear you. It was again.
You're just getting even with me.
Yeah.
For all those times that I started the stream without your audio, and then like 20 minutes in, I'm like, oh shit, my bad.
Yeah. Thank you, Leviathan.
At least we have enough. Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Gosh, what would we do if the world couldn't hear me?
Oh my god, it would be the worst episode of the show because, as we've established,
I disagree.
I am the worst part of the show. Welcome to DrawBomb, folks.
We have enough people watching now these days that at least they tell us immediately when something's wrong.
Could you
Back
imagine?
then it was like nobody.
Yeah. So if you go back in the old VODs, like there's just like dead air for like half of it, and then suddenly we're just like, boop. But here we are.
That's right. Here we are.
I haven't drawn yet because we discussed the drawing idea, and then I realized we never discussed the layout of this image. So I
think you can probably imagine somewhat, right? If not, that's fine.
You know, have you ever watched somebody? This is going to be an interesting conversation. Have you ever watched somebody work on a drawing and then you see what, like, they're making lines and you have no idea what, like, the lines are forming together to make, and then, like, finally after watching this person draw for like 10 minutes, you finally see, like, oh, they make like one inconsequential seeming line and it clicks for you and you're like, oh.
Yes, I think that happens pretty often. This is supposed to be the house, like,
yes. I couldn't tell if like the house was gonna be over here or like if the house was gonna be this way. You know, just like there's a number of factors I wasn't quite sure of.
Collaborative drawing. It's a whole thing.
It's a learned skill. You really gotta work on it. But now I'm understanding what this layout is, and I'm gonna get to work now. But welcome to DrawBomb, folks. This is a show where we draw, and boy, it's just a blast. Whoa, okay, wait.
So I was curious. You've been sticking to the same one for a long time. That one's pretty good though.
I actually don't hate that.
Yeah.
That was completely off the cuff. I was gonna say we draw and we bomb, and then I changed it last second. Wow.
I was so ready to hear it again, and then I was pleasantly surprised.
I think we might actually unironically stick with that one for at least a while. Maybe.
Not bad.
I don't hate it.
I'm okay with
Because it's not like we're, you know, if you have a tagline for the show, you kind of want to amp yourself up. You don't want to like shit on yourself like before people have even watched the show.
Right.
So
my
gosh,
my desire to constantly like lean towards self-deprecation has, I feel like, shot me in the foot a number of times in my life. People are just like, oh.
It's shot me. Yeah, I feel like it shoots us both in the foot because like not only do you need to amp talk yourself up in general for people to actually like give a shit about like what you're doing, but if you're trying to like advertise yourself or like kind of sell a product like we essentially are with like trying to get people to watch this show, you know, you wanna say, you don't want it to sound like you're doing a shitty job.
The person making the show keeps telling you the show's shitty.
That's right.
Who would, like, I trust them, right?
Yeah.
They would know.
I always hear people say like, oh, British humor is so self-deprecating, and like, yes, for sure, but yeah, I don't think it's exclusive to the British people. I mean, so many of my friends.
Anymore these days, it's not really, like you said, not exclusive, but I would say maybe they were doing it before it had really taken off over here.
Yeah, for sure. And to be fair, there is a lot of just like sniffing its own farts, like American media too. So it's, you know, I can see why people would sort of give it a cultural designation as like, you know, these people do this humor, these people do that humor, because, you know, there is a lot of American TV shows that are just like, we're the funniest, whoa, we're so cool, bam, 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 bam. And then you go over to, you watch like a British sitcom and they're like, oh, mate, can't believe I fucking killed my mother. Jeez.
I love that show too.
Oh yeah. You know what I was thinking of? Have you ever seen the show Peep Show?
No, but I've seen a lot of like clips and like memes from it.
It's a good show. That's a very self-deprecating show because it's just about two guys who are the worst, and like that's it. It's just two guys who are the worst. And
who's
like
in that? I know the one. Who's in that?
I don't know their names, but they're Mitchell and Webb is their names. Mitchell and Webb.
I recognize them like because they're, you know, pretty prominent in like British comedy.
Yeah, they're a comedy duo. They've done a lot of different things together. I think the most well received has been Peep Show, and Peep Show is an interesting show because the reason it's called Peep Show is because it's shot entirely in first person view, the entire show.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so like
probably why it's called that.
It is, yeah, and it's interesting because like at first it's very noticeable that it is shot in first person, but if you watch enough of the show, you just don't even like, it doesn't register anymore that that's like the gimmick, and it just feels very natural for them to do that. And then when you watch a show that's not shot specifically with like a first person gimmick in mind, you're like, oh right, there's other forms of camera angle. But they do it in a way where it's not like it doesn't stick out. They manage it very well, but they use it well. So like if a character is like getting confrontational or like saying something that makes another character very anxious, like the character will be like very zoomed and like, oi mate, you got to get that job done, innit? And so you kind of like get that. It helps you put yourself in that character's mind state. But it's also funny sometimes how they'll nail the camera angle too, because like sometimes you'll just be like a person on a bus that's passing by watching the characters, and that's how they get away with it.
Stranger on a bus.
What if God was a bus?
Just a big old bus. What if God was a bus?
That would be more fun than I think what we currently have in our heads.
It's true.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about Peep Show. Otherwise,
no,
you should watch it.
I will watch it. Yeah.
It's also one of those shows where like the first season has a completely different theme song than the rest of the show, and I kind of liked the original theme song.
Oh, it's always the worst when they upgrade to a worse song.
They don't upgrade to a worse song. The song that they get to like in the second season, it starts to become the I'm not sick but I'm not well.
Oh, okay.
But it's just kind of like I kind like originally it's just kind of like that's kind of like the vibe of the original theme song, and I kind of enjoyed that because it made the show feel more quirky than like a rock song, you know?
Right. Whenever somebody picks like a rock song as their theme, it's always like, gives the vibe of like, we're cool.
Yeah.
Watch this show about us being cool, and it's like, eh. I thought you people were supposed to be self-deprecating.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the thing, is like it makes like, of course the song is I'm not sick but I'm not well because I'm so hot because I'm in hell. So it is like a self-deprecating song of sorts, but it's a rock song that's like very catchy. And I mean, we're ones to talk. We have like 8 different rock songs on this, and they're all pretty like.
You made them.
I did, yeah, but I mean, they do sort of sound like cool songs.
And it's also different because we are cool, you know.
We're so cool. Like, we're Americans.
I mean, lie to our viewers.
Yeah. But yeah, theme songs. What do you know?
What do you know about them?
Not a lot. I mean, I've made a couple. Not like for anything
That's
like.
True.
Large, but I've made a few that, and I mean I think the Flummox theme song that I did is still probably one of my best songs I've made.
It's a good one.
I was so psyched when I made it, and then I taught myself how to play it on the piano so I can play it.
Oh,
like,
hell yeah.
So I can like be like, hey, check it out. Bleep, blue. And yeah.
Is that what you say before you play something usually?
I go bleep bloop.
Yeah, check it out.
No, I usually go,
Please insert a quarter into my spine.
because
That
otherwise,
usually gets people ready to listen to music.
yeah. Well, they have to put a quarter in me, or I won't play. I got a little slot.
How do you
in the back
collect
here.
the quarters afterwards?
I got a slot built into me in the back.
Does it go into your like digestive system, or does it just like how do you retrieve the quarters?
It's all gears and like clockwork and shit like that.
Are you a robot?
Yeah. I'm like a little one-man band,
shit.
sort of automated thing, sousaphone, whatever. I usually, before we do a show, I put about 4 quarters in me to make sure we get through the full 2 hours.
Oh, if you run out, you just shut down. Do like your eyes like dim out. And
Boy, wouldn't it be funny if we remembered that we said this just now, so that by the end of the episode, I do that, like I go, alright, time to go to sleep. I say that now and ruin the surprise because there's no fucking way we're gonna remember by the end of the episode.
Fair enough.
We haven't gotten enough media coaching yet to do that. We don't have like somebody with a clipboard who's like, do the robot bit. Like we just have to remember anything we want to do.
We need a person to hold an applause sign for the chat every once in a while.
I would love to.
Great.
Yeah, I would like sometimes when I think about this show, I'm just like, God, wouldn't it be so fucking cool if we had like an engineer, like just taking care of the shit?
Dude, if we lived in the same area, I would straight up build a studio for this show.
Me too. I would love to have a studio for this show. It'd be so cool. I've like walked around Philly looking at like office spaces and been like, 500 a month. I can't justify it, but fuck, that's a small enough place we could set up chairs and like equipment.
Problem
think
is,
about
we
it.
live in different places.
Nobody's paying us enough.
Pay us enough that we can move to the same spot and work on this full time.
Please.
Real quick, Leviathan Dunn says, B-Chaps, I was kidding. We love you. Were you kidding about me not having audio?
No, you definitely didn't have audio. I don't know what that means.
No. Well, either way, people can hear me now, and that's what matters.
People can't hear you, thank God. Still, thank you again, Leviathan Den. Leviathan Den has been very helpful for the past few streams. Like, I did a House Flipper stream the other day, and he was like, the frame rate sucks. And then I checked, and I was like, of course it sucks. I have the game running at 120 frames per second. My refresh rate is 60. There's no need.
Hell yeah. It's good to have those people to help make the stream quality.
Yeah, I get frustrated when I've been, like, streaming, and people are in the chat, and then, like, somebody eventually is just like, I can't hear you. And I'm just like, why didn't anybody else say that?
Right, like, why did it take 30 minutes for someone to tell me that I was fucking up?
Yeah. Although, to be fair, on the flip side of the coin, sometimes people will tell me something's, oh my god, I'm writing in gray ink again. Why does that keep happening?
Dude, you're just like,
I'm a mess.
so dull.
The worst part of the show. But what was I saying? Something about people not telling me. Oh yeah, no, on the flip side, sometimes I'll be like actively fixing something that I've realized is wrong, and then somebody in the chat will be like, your music's too loud, and then I'll be like, I know, and now I'm fixing it, and then I'm like a little snappy, and so there's like two flip sides of the coin. Is sometimes I'm very thankful, and then sometimes I feel a little bit testy about it.
Leviathan Dunn says, you mentioned people saying your show is bad in a joking manner. Okay, yes, I do recall that now. My bad.
Yes.
I'm a little slow. Sorry about that.
A little slow.
Yeah, and then on the flip side, occasionally you get people that have some like client side issues, and they're so confidently telling you that it's you. They're like, this isn't working, and you're like, no, it is. Maybe you're having some issues, bud.
I see that so much. Like I'm a moderator for Lord Spew streams, so I'll be there. Like I try and show up whenever he's streaming, just to kind of like keep an eye on the situation. And I like his streams too, obviously. So I try and participate when I'm not busy. But I have had situations where people are just like, all I'm getting is a loading screen, and like everyone else is watching the stream. So in the chat, we're just like, you have to refresh or hit. It's not us. The stream is running fine, and the person just keeps in the chat going like, it's still not working. You guys need to fix this. And it's like, this is a you problem.
Can't fix this for you.
Yeah. Very frustrating. I wish, that's why it's always helpful to have the stream up on a second screen. Just to be safe.
I always have it up too, just to see.
Yeah, I'm actually about to throw it up on the screen now. I'm about to throw it up.
You're gonna throw up on your screen?
No, but
Wow, this is the best episode ever.
this is so good. It's so worth.
Ian vomited live.
God, could you imagine? That'd be awful.
I can imagine, but I'm glad it hasn't happened.
Yeah. That would be embarrassing, quite frankly.
Actually, instead of live, I'm right. You'd be embarrassed to vomit in front of a live audience? I wonder why.
Yeah, so weird.
Episode
Episode
It's funny
115.
the things. I would be embarrassed too, but it's funny the things that are just like natural, that are just like such a faux
Embarrassing.
pas if they happen to you.
Yeah. Like, okay, can we talk about farting for a second? Like, obviously, nobody wants to smell the inside of your colon. But, like, farting is
Oh,
also...
God, that makes it sound so much worse to describe it that way. It's accurate.
Yeah. That's why I think about it whenever somebody farts. I'm just like, well...
I smelled the
Now-
inside of your body just now.
Insides or outside
I
now.
was like, shit.
Yeah, I'm smelling either shit or pre-shit. It's one or the other. But farting is completely natural, and it's like if you can't hold in a fart, like your stomach hurts after a while.
You can, but yeah, it's uncomfortable.
So like, I mean, sure, it's polite to excuse yourself, and that's probably what you should do. But it is, in the end, it is something completely natural, and I'm like, wait. Of
I
course,
think
no.
excusing yourself is a good way, so that you're not
Yes.
just like ripping ass and forcing your. It's like a weird power move to just shit in somebody's nose and then just stare them in the eyes
Yeah.
while they endure it.
No, yeah. Let's keep talking about the Gilmore Girls. I tried to zoom in on you when you did your camera angle. Do you want to show people your new camera angle?
Yeah, I this can go anywhere. I'm still like messing with it, but I have the ability to do this camera and this camera. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. Still camera 2. Haha, just kidding. Camera 1. You know, see? You never know where I'm gonna go. I can do anything.
You can do anything. You can be anyone.
I have it very zoomed in for comedy, but it doesn't have to be. That's just, you know, that's around.
Gotcha.
Figuring it out.
Brandon,
Yes.
the world's a nightmare, but how have you been this week?
I've been pretty good. I've been working quite a bit, which is good actually, because I've been a little slow for a minute, and yeah, not interesting for the stream, but I like money, and you know, I've been making more, so that's great. It's just been working. Nothing interesting really though.
Well,
A few different jobs. You know.
Yeah.
How about you, Ian? How's your week been?
Super interesting. Not really. No. My week has been. I mean, I guess I have COVID. I mean, if I
You have
tested.
it?
No, I mean I tested negative when I did the test like on Saturday.
You probably don't have it.
And I've been completely asymptomatic. I've just been living with people who have had COVID and are feeling symptomatic.
That doesn't mean you get it. I've literally, when I had it, my fiance slept in the same bed like an inch away from me. Like didn't separate, nothing like that the first time, because it was during, you know, the shutdown anyways. Or no, it wasn't actually, but whatever. Anyways, she didn't like separate from me or anything, and she never got it. And then she just had it a few weeks back, and I never got it. So.
And
like, there was even like shared drinks and stuff before we knew.
Yeah, I
think she just didn't have it bad enough. Or, like she had it pretty like mild.
Yeah.
Maybe her viral load wasn't big enough.
Maybe, I mean, one would hope so, especially with like vaccines and boosters. A low viral load.
Yeah.
Gonna be better for you.
Yeah, I mean, what you don't want is a big load.
You never want a big. I mean,
well, some people.
we're gonna get way too much fun out of that fucking camera angle.
A few things in the chat. Belbaraka says, "I refuse to hold in farts. It's a power move." It is a power move. That's what I said. Like, just like, especially if you don't even like try to pretend like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Leviathan Den says pandemics are over, Mortar.
Pandemics are over, Mortar. They're over.
I love that animation. I gotta watch that again.
Glad people like it. As I was making it, I was just...
I'm a physical store, Mortar. A physical store.
It's a great pun. But as I was making that animation, I was just like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? But it's also like my most viewed animation because, of course,
I was gonna say, people liked it.
Yeah.
You liked it. They liked it. You're doing something right.
I guess so. But yeah, I'm asymptomatic. I've shared smoking implements with people who I'm in the household with who have tested positive and who have suffered symptoms.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
How long have those people had it now?
I mean,
over a week.
The one person, my dad has said that he has had it. He said he was feeling sinusy as of last Wednesday, but he didn't think anything of it. And then we were supposed to visit. No, I'm sorry. It was last Saturday, that he started to feel sinusy. But he was like mowing the lawn and like doing the artwork and stuff like that. So we just figured it was like pollen and dander and things like that. But then Wednesday we were supposed to we're going to go to Iowa on Friday. And he was like, on Wednesday, he was just like, well, I'm still feeling sinusy. Might as well test because my grandfather is immunocompromised. So he tested, and he tested positive.
Irresponsible individual.
And, yeah. So we didn't go to Iowa. Which is unfortunate.
Yeah. I was not going anywhere.
No, you were not. So we have this episode.
COVID ruined my week again. Is that because you are not allowed to come over to the Newton household?
She comes over, but she's not allowed in the house. Parents are very adamant.
She just stands outside with like a boombox or like throwing pebbles at windows.
Like, and say anything. She's just like, I got you.
That's smart, play it safe.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, so that's been mostly my week. Otherwise, I've just been working. I mean, I feel completely fine. Very thankful for that.
Yeah, you might not get it.
I might not get it. I don't know. I'm just counting down the days, and I haven't been like playing it any safer since the parents got it. I'm like, well, if you got it, I got it. I'm like, I sit across from them all the time, and again, I've shared smoking implements with people in the house who have tested positive. So I mean,
it's more than your dad tested positive.
Well, my mom tested positive, and she's just like, it's interesting. Dad tested positive, and like we were all feeling fine, and then like that night, by the time like we got the news that Dad tested positive, by that night my mom was going like. So gotcha. I don't know if she just started to get those symptoms that night, or maybe it was like her mind sort of triggered it and like sort of made it happen earlier. I don't know.
I don't know.
If he got it, then she would have gotten it pretty shortly after, because again, we all live in the same house. But yeah, I mean, I feel fine.
How's he feeling now? How's your dad feeling now?
They both feel a little loopy at times. Like they just feel kind of like they say like they basically
brain
felt
fog.
Like they have brain fog. They basically felt like they had a bad cold.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they say like if you have a fever, like, and I might be a little off here, but it's like basically like 5 days after that, you're pretty much like in the clear. So
yeah,
if they're feeling pretty good, and you don't have it yet, you're probably not going to get it.
Probably pretty good. So here's hoping. I mean, I've dodged it so far. I've dodged those COVID bullets up till this point. It would be a shame if,
Damn shame.
Yeah. If I got it though, I mean.
Should I draw some sorry, real quick. Should I draw some house details under the
I've been
weird muck, or would that like make it too hard to like read? Maybe if I do real like thin lines or something.
I think it reads as a house as it is now. We could just color it brown, and like, oh, I see under the muck where we've cleaned it. Yeah, we probably should.
I think it'll look good.
I see what you're saying. I'll draw like a little door right here. Brandon, let's get to the real meat and potatoes of this podcast. Is us talking about the shit we watched and played over the week. It's not really that. We've discussed before. We actually would love to be able to discuss anything else. But
I enjoy it, but I do I do wonder if it's entertaining to anyone.
Yeah. I mean, I like to think of it as like this is an arts criticism podcast when we do that, but I would love if, you know, someday we could be like, I went to a water park. I had these. Like, well, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I think about like podcasts that I've listened to that are just like friends talking. Like, I used like the very first podcast I ever listened to was the Film Drunk Fraudcast, which is just, you know, Film Drunk is a movie review website where I find the writer of it to be particularly smart and insightful, and like he reviews movies as not just like schlock, but like he likes to talk about sort of what the movie is trying to say, and so I really respect the shit out of his opinions on that. And so like one of the first podcasts I ever listened to about 12 years ago was their podcast, and like if I were to tell you their inside jokes, you'd be like, what the fuck? Like, one of their inside jokes is that as soon as you talk about poop, the one guy just can't stop laughing like hysterically, and it's very infectious. It's very funny though. But like they talk about like poop transplants in the one episode. For like a whole episode, they talked about researched and just discussed poop transplants, which is a real procedure, by the way.
So it's a wild thing that I know very little about, except for that it exists.
If you have,
and
like,
I feel like if I learned about it, it might not be as funny.
It's not
interesting as I pictured in my head.
Allow me to ruin it for you. So you get a poop transplant. You know how your gut has bacteria in it. You know that, right?
What?
Yeah. There's turns out there's good bacteria and bad bacteria.
No.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Bacteria ain't just bad, man. Sometimes there's good bacteria, and the good bacteria in your gut.
Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah. I know you do. Anyone who's like an adult who knows.
I just wanted to make sure everybody
enough.
on the stream didn't think I was like some kind of. Well, I'm sure they all think I'm an idiot, but not like. I didn't want them to think I was a bigger idiot.
Why would they? If anyone's gonna think they're an idiot on the pod, they're gonna think I'm an idiot, because I say the most like. I bring up a lot of like ridiculous claims. I'm like, oh, people are using Amazon Echoes to spy on you, and then Kyle will bring a link up that's just like, I mean, they are a little bit, but Kyle will bring up a link then that's like, no, they're not. And then we're like, okay, well.
Hey man, you don't own being the worst. I'm the worst too sometimes, dude.
Let's share.
Call dibs.
We're both the worst.
There we go.
Ba-da-bap.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We're the worst.
I suck.
So yeah, gut bacteria. You have good gut bacteria and you have bad gut bacteria, but sometimes I don't know what the exact situation would be, but if you eliminate all of the good gut bacteria in your stomach, you won't be able to break down food and enzymes and any of that stuff anymore. So
that sounds right.
Yeah. So you gotta poop. I know, because they dedicated a whole episode of their podcast to the practice.
My guess I guess it's like your gut. When I hear gut, I always think like stomach, but I guess it's like below that usually.
Yeah, I mean, when I say gut, I consider it's stomach.
Like your intestines.
Yeah, I mean, intestines are.
The more I hear about it, so I'm like, wouldn't they just give you like a pill that has some like bacteria in it? But like, if it's just your stomach, that would make sense. But
well, it's also your intestines and
so
stuff.
The poop
too.
factory.
Yeah,
is where it needs to go.
It's the works. It's the whole plumbing system.
So I just picture somebody with like little tongs that are holding like a small turd, and they put it up your butt.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think it's like a enema situation. I don't know how.
A reverse enema. They shoot poop into you.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's like a reverse enema, and it's sort of. So like what
the
they do.
The doctor
is,
presses his butt against yours.
Yeah, you moondock each other. You do a little bit of moondocking.
Forever.
You poop. First you poop into my butt, and then I poop into your butt.
Z-Newts is here now.
Yes, he is.
Bubba Rock says he's tardy, which is true. We're gonna mark this against you. Don't worry though. It's only once you miss 3 that we knock your grade down, so you're still all right. Just don't let it happen again.
Don't be tardy anymore. You're gonna lose that grape job sticker, okay?
Yeah. Okay. And a large supply of yogurt is what Leviathan Den says is a good way to
probably get some good gut bacteria.
Health.
You need to get that Lactobacillus casei shirota.
Them probiotics. Cases shirota. Da 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 dun 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 dun. I'm actually listening to that song right now, so I had to do it.
No, that's very funny. I want to talk about Lactobacillus casei shirota and eventually, briefly. I want to touch upon it, but
well, now's the time to do it. I don't know when this will come up again.
I don't either. But just to finish up poop transplant talk, you poop the you get the good bacteria from the poop, and that's it. Otherwise, your like small intestine will like sever itself, and you won't be able to poop anymore if you don't do it in time.
Whoa, it's like I'm out of here. Yeah. I'm seceding from this body.
Grapes. But yeah. So
how do they insert the poop? Because that's what I want to know.
I think it's like a reverse enema.
Huh.
But I think you're put.
Gross.
I think you're put under when it's like you're not like awake and you're like what? Like
they make you eat a turd and then it works its way down to your.
Yeah, it's a poop in a
Sorry, this is the only way you can get better, and you're like, dang it. All right, here's a. Do you want a fork and a knife? I guess so.
Yeah. Leviathan Dense, as I was saying, yogurt because isn't yogurt. It is full of yogurt, and we were talking about that, but like it's not. The yogurt isn't gonna solve. Like if you need. Is it capsules?
It doesn't solve it.
Is it capsules, Isabel? That would make a lot more sense. Is poop Okay.
I hope it is.
I think it is actually poop capsules, but
that like blocks the flavor. The poo is contained inside a candy shell.
Yeah, you gotta you have that. Make sure you don't drink with water. You just want to swallow it. You don't wanna...
Yeah. Swallow it quick. Get it past any part of your body that's able to taste.
Yeah. Isn't a reverse enema? Oh yeah, I guess an enema is where they shove liquid up your ass. So it's not a reverse. Yeah. It would just be an enema.
Okay, a poo enema. It feels reversal because it's adding fecal matter.
Yeah, normally enema is supposed to flush you out. Wow,
so
why don't we have fans?
I don't know. This show's so I feel like it's something. We talk about all the topics everyone's thinking about. I don't know why.
Come here for the poop transplant talk 12 years after Film Drunk Frotcast covered the same topic with much more charisma. But yeah, so Lactobacillus casei shirota. That's a real thing, by the way, is Lactobacillus casei shirota. That's an enzyme that exists.
You lack bacillus as far as I'm concerned.
You have a little more bacillus. My shirota. But yeah, so the reason I know the name of that long ass word is because when I was living on my friend's couch for a few months after getting evicted, I would like have their TV on, and like there'd be this weird ass yogurt commercial that would come on, and it was like 3D animated, and it was like it felt and looked and sounded like it was originally made in Japan and then like translated and like brought over to America, because just the vibe of the whole commercial and like the way the voice acting was, it felt very like it was dubbed and not like in a way, like it was a 3D animation, so of course it's dubbed, but I don't know, something about it felt like it was made by a company that was overseas at least. But
did it make you want to buy yogurt?
No. But the whole thing was about gut enzymes. And I mean, I'm not a big yogurt guy. I like yogurt, don't get me wrong, but like nothing's gonna make me go out and be like, I gotta get this fucking yogurt.
Well, I need some yogurt. You like a parfait? Are you a fan of a parfait?
I like a parfait.
That's usually what we keep yogurt on deck for. I also use Greek yogurt instead of sour cream a lot of times. It's a little bit, just slightly healthier. And also you can use it as like heavy cream in some like recipes and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of sour cream in general, to be honest.
What is wrong with you, Ian?
I'm a guy.
What? No. Why don't you like anything good?
I like great things. I don't like good
things.
I like great things. I don't like good things.
Oh. I only like gray things. I eat slop.
Color? I don't want my food to be colored at all. Give me the gray Cheetos. They taste like gravel.
If Flamin' Hot Cheetos are like red and normal Cheetos are orange, what are gray Cheetos flavored?
Gravel. Rocks.
Gravel.
Here's the interesting thing is that Cheetos actually are gray. They get, I mean, obviously they get food colored in them, but...
They're gray.
Did you know, or they're brown, but did you know that the reason
brown makes sense? Gray seems like, how would they even become that color? Like
they're not appetizing looking.
They're not food.
Without the food cup. No, they're like styrofoam. You're eating like a packing peanut. But
goddamn, they're good.
Here's the interesting thing, is I read this somewhere, and this could be complete pop science and completely false. Anyone who wants to back me up on this, please do, because my only source is a cracked.com article from like 7 years ago. But, and I feel like Cracked did their research. They would cite their sources, but, you know, who the fuck knows. But, I read that the color of a food actually does determine the way your brain registers the taste of it.
Oh, for sure. It definitely has an effect.
So if you were to like eat a Cheeto that looks the way it just generally does anyways, it would probably, even if it had all the same flavorings on it, even if it had all the same like dust that gives it the taste that it does, it would taste different because it would be gray or brown or whatever the fuck color Cheetos are without food coloring. And I just think about that at least once a day, and I'm just like,
a couple things to say about that. First off, even when it comes to not the color of your food, but colors you see in advertising, they make you feel different ways in general, but also like when it comes to food, like they make you feel your appetite different ways, which is like a very real thing, which is
that's
weird.
true.
I don't know the exact ones, but like there's a reason like red and yellow are used so much with like fast food. I know ketchup and mustard, but ketchup and mustard also wouldn't be that bright red or yellow without some tweaks.
Very true.
But also the other thing I was going to say was I can confirm that fact you're saying, because in the 90s they did this thing where they made condiments
ketchup?
that were crazy colors
green ketchup
for kids. There was green and purple ketchup
and black.
And I remember we got it one time and we ended up just throwing it away because me and my brother were like the ones that like forced my parents to get it, because we're just like, wow, cool. And then we like used it once or twice and we're like, this is fucking disgusting. Like even though it tastes identical, if you were blind you couldn't pass a taste test of which is which.
Yeah.
But there's just something gross about eating like
green
ketchup.
Although to be fair, I actually got that same stuff when it came out, because again, like we were kids and we were like, wow, green ketchup. And I remember my family, like we didn't mind too much. I remember my aunts bought the green ketchup for a while actually, and then they just stopped selling it because everyone had the normal reaction that you had. But I remember thinking it was cool. I don't know, but I feel that. I mean, that's so true though. I mean, that's evidence, proof and point right there. And it might not even be like your taste buds register differently, but it's like
it's a psychological thing.
Yeah, it's like how if I'm eating a sandwich and I could be eating it just fine, but if I start to like taste a little bit of like a chunk of tomato in there, all of a sudden the sandwich is revolting to me. It was a fine sandwich until I tasted like that little chunk of tomato, and I'm like,
it's probably not even the taste; it's the texture for you. So that's
it's texture.
All the more reason to say that it's like psychological, because right there you're saying it's not flavor; it's just
texture. Yeah. So it's an our brains are fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
They're like we complain about computer glitches and shit all the time. You know what's the most unstable computer of all is the fucking human brain.
We need an update on the simulation stat.
Yeah. I'm gonna read
some quality of life updates.
Please give me a patch. Give me a when's the new season of my brain start? Can I get the battle pass for that?
Can't wait. Does it reset, or do we get to like keep our progress?
I think I get to keep my cosmetics, but any like progress in missions or like weapons that I got are gonna get erased.
Go ahead and dig in on that chat.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna talk about lack of bacillus casei shiro. But I could just destroy hub. I like dehydrated ram cum chips. Okay.
Yum.
That reminds me of a song I came up with one time.
How do they get them into chips? Do they just like...
The shit solidifies on its own, then you just bake them once it's solidified. We talked about this. We talked about the fleshlights that you let sit.
God. Not on the stream.
Not on the stream, no. That was in private conversation.
Should. Probably shouldn't.
Well, we just talked about a fucking poop transplant. Like, I feel like the gloves are off at this point.
Guess right.
But American meats at chain grocery stores have red food coloring added to them. That is accurate. Yep.
It's true.
There's a lot of psychological manipulation when it comes to marketing food. I mean, yeah, like all those burgers that you see in commercials and stuff are made of like plaster. Like those are
absolutely
not real.
Inedible. Covered in like Vaseline to make them look like shiny and like.
They do look good though.
Yeah. People are good at what they do. Those artists that are hired to make fake food.
Also plays a lot with your psyche. They did a Shrek green ketchup when I was a kid. Oh, talking about that.
Yeah.
I'll choke down Shrek's green hot dog. But lack of a sales case, sure. Let's
my
talk.
donkey.
Drink my ketchup. Ogres have mustards and relish. Don't you know, donkey? But lack of a sales case, Rhoda. It's a thing.
Dying to hear about this.
Well, I remember I was watching a commercial and they're like, hey, we're our family going to the grocery store. Well, we need yogurt. Okay, honey, what kind of yogurt should we get? Well, and like it shows like a line of yogurt
Sounds
shelves.
like a normal family so far.
So normal. And then
people talk.
Shows a line of like as people talk in commercials exactly like human beings talk. It's completely normal.
Right.
And it shows like a line of yogurt on a shelf, and then it's like, okay, which ones have the good probiotics? And then like half the yogurts disappear off the shelf. Which ones have which ones are good for gut health? And then like another half of the yogurts from that half disappears, and then like, which one of these yogurts has Lactobacillus casei shirota? And like me watching it, being like homeless at the time, like eating fucking like a peanut butter jelly sandwich because that was all I had to make myself, was like, what the fuck? And then like that commercial just kept playing, and then every time they'd get to the Lactobacillus casei shirota part, and I'd be like, this is you all knew this was a mouthful, right? And then I tried Googling it, and you can Google it, but wow, is it not an easy word to Google?
It's not an easy Google. That's a hard Google right there.
It's a hard Goog. It's a hard Googer. That's all I have to say about Lactobacillus casei shirota. It really wasn't worth bringing the conversation back around to it again, but I didn't know how to get away from...
I'm interested to hear about the commercial, though. You know what I really love? My favorite commercials are the ones where it's like people are still so like stiff and awkward and fake, and then it's like not paid actors, and it's like you are fucking so full of shit.
You are absolutely a paid actor.
What are these robots then? What are these? These aren't humans. I know that much.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck these people are, but they're not humans.
They are not real. These are fucking automatons right here. Who got the Cylons in this fucking commercial? What are some of your favorite? No, you go first.
No, never mind. I was about to read the chat, but it's more about Shrek penises, so we can move past that. As much as I'm all for it.
Anyways,
what was your question?
Well, first of all, Balbo Rocket says, I brought Lactobacillus casei shirota around like 5 times. Yeah, but I talked about it once, and then like I talked about it again the second time I brought it.
Tell us about Lactobacillus shirota.
It was discovered by casei shirota, doctor of gut health.
Dr. casei shirota. Wow.
Dr. casei
He's like,
shirota.
haha, everybody always gave me shit for how hard it was to say my name, and now you have to fucking say it.
Not only that, but I put the word fucking Lactobacillus in front of it. The question I was gonna ask is, have you seen any commercials lately that are at all enjoyable? Like,
I don't see many commercials. I'll be honest.
Thank God.
I mostly have streaming services, so some of them have them like Hulu, but like you get the same like 3, and usually they're for another show. So you're not really seeing just like straight up commercials. So I haven't seen many, to be honest. I don't have a better answer for that.
No, that's okay. I mean, first of all, commercials are literally just like liquid capitalism. So giving them praise is kind of like antithetical to like my whole.
When people are like, "I love Flo," I'm like, or they dress like her for Halloween. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Dressing as her for Halloween, I get. It's a recognizable character. I get it.
But it's a commercial. It's like it's the same as like somebody who gets like a Monster logo tattooed on their body.
That I'm not.
Stop being a billboard. Stop being a billboard.
It is not like that though, because you can remove a Flo costume.
Okay, it's not as bad, but it's still bad. It's like stop being a billboard.
Yeah, don't be a billboard. But I get it.
Granted, maybe I'm being
for Halloween, because it's like a call.
Maybe I'm being.
For Halloween, you want to dress up as something people recognize. I get it. If you can pull off a Flo costume, like, I'm not gonna be mad that you dressed up as, like, that's a different.
Maybe now that I thought about it, maybe I'm being a little too, like.
Don't be such a commercial curmudgeon.
maybe it's just that I hate those commercials because like I could totally see myself dressing as like a Ronald McDonald or something like that. Like
yeah.
full on.
If I could, I would.
In worst company.
If I could, I would dress up as Agitated Dots because I still love that commercial.
Quit agitate my dots.
You agitate my dots.
It makes me feel mad when a commercial actually entertains me. So
yeah,
like,
me too.
Damn it!
Damn you, capitalism!
Hey, yeah, you got me.
That Flo makes so much fucking money by being only in those commercials.
She's gotta make a ton of money.
Yeah, well, if you're a mascot for a commercial, you get paid an exclusivity fee. Like you get paid money to not be in anything else, which
Plus,
is
I
like
think there's residuals for every time they air type things like that.
Although I've seen a TV. That is good stuff. I have seen a TV show that has Flo in it, which I kind of blew my mind because I was just like,
might have been
what?
pre those commercials.
No. After.
Maybe it's just she can't be in other ads.
No, I mean it's like those commercials have been around for like 12 years now. I think the exclusivity contract either only lasts so long, or if you want to extend it, it's gonna be you have to pay like even more. So eventually they're just like, fine, fuck it. We have like that thin, scrawny guy who's like the redhead who's with Flo all the time in the commercial. Like they added 5 other cast members to the Flo cast.
They're trying to build the cinematic universe of
That's right.
the progressive world.
The progressive cinematic universe. Don't you mean those Marvel SJWs? No, no, she's in the show Meet the Goldbergs. She's just like one of the terrible mom's friends. But I was like, oh shit, that's her. But there's these commercials on YouTube that I get lately. I decided to buy Hulu without the ads because I got so fucking tired of like trying to like rewind like a little bit because like someone will say like a quick line before a commercial break, and I'll be like, quick, go back, and then I like watch 3 seconds to catch that joke I missed, and then it's
you gotta watch 3 more minutes of commercial.
Yeah, I could have like gotten through Frasier 3 times faster if I had Hulu without the ads at that time. So. But there is a benefit to ads though, in that it gives you a great time to go to the bathroom.
Well, on a digital platform you can pause.
Yeah,
so
but
every time's a good time.
I still consider it a great time to go to the bathroom.
Your point is moot.
What? But there's these ads I've been getting on YouTube about these like t-shirts, and they're stupid. And like what it is this one ad, but they've packaged like 5 ads into the same ad. But they kind of make me laugh. I'm mad because I'm like, fuck you for making an ad I kind of like watching. Because like the one is like these 2 guys at a gym, and the one guy's like, whoa, my shirt is so ill-fitting. Well, that's a great shirt. Where'd you get it? Well, I got my shirt from this t-shirt website. And then the other guy's like, and then he's like, cool. And then like, he's like, whoa, where'd you get your shirt? And then the guy's like, well, I just heard about this t-shirt site from a friend, so I bought my shirt. Like the guy like basically forgets that he just introduced the site to the other, and they do this old switcheroo.
I've seen that ad on TikTok.
I kind of enjoyed it, and I was like, okay.
I skip past. Me and Morgan, we a lot of times when we're hanging out, one of us will have TikTok and we'll just be hanging out watching together. Mm-hmm. And we judge each other if somebody accidentally. It's almost become a running joke where somebody, because they try to trick you into think you're watching a TikTok.
Yeah.
But there's a little teeny word that says sponsored in the bottom corner that you might not notice.
Yep.
And they try to make it seem like a real TikTok, and we always like shame the other one if they actually start to watch an ad and not realize that it's a commercial. They're like, you fucking idiot. You thought that was a TikTok, you dumbass.
I got screwed over by YouTube. You can't, like, YouTube will be like, you can't skip this first ad. You can skip 5 seconds into the second ad. But this first ad, you gotta watch that shit. Usually those ads are like 5 seconds too, but I've had a couple that were like the full 15 or 30 seconds I wasn't allowed to skip through.
I do have an answer for you on commercials now because YouTube, that did remind me. I do see a lot on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's this series of ones that I see all the time that I don't enjoy them, but they're entertaining because of how just like fucking like the fever dream they feel like and how weird they are. But they're basically trying to sell you this app for like some stupid game, and there's a guy telling you about it, but it's so like clearly like voiced over because he didn't speak English. So he's like, whoa guys, you gotta try this game. I found this game recently, and it's just like a guy talking, but like the words are so off, and it's just like really.
That's funny.
It's like probably supposed to get kids or something, and it's just super weird.
Just strange. I've been getting this. You know how like iPhone ads, we've talked about the crazy iPhone ads before, but you know, there's also the ads that are just clearly not the game that they're advertising. So I think iPhone.
I don't have an iPhone, but.
Oh, you know, just phone ads in general. Like, it doesn't have to be an iPhone. Yeah. But phone ads in general just tend to be like not the game that they're. Yeah. So I've been starting to get ads for like a phone game where they're like, "Hey, are you tired of those iPhone or those phone game ads?" And I've been getting that one now.
One I was just describing is that he's like,
"That's the one."
I thought this game didn't exist, but it does exist, and it's like he's like speaking, but like the words are like a voiceover from some other person, and it's just like this weird combination of weird, strange stuff going on.
I've actually never listened to that ad off of mute, because like I get that ad when I'm playing I have like a nanogram game on my phone that I play, and like if every 3 nanograms that you finish you watch like a quick ad, that's where I've been getting that one. But whenever I'm playing a game on my phone, that shit is on mute because I do not want to hear your damn ad. I don't want to be like playing a quiet, silent game and then all of a sudden it's just like wow! Don't want that.
That's fair.
So I didn't hear the voice, but maybe. But yeah, I mean, you're talking
next
about
time
TikTok.
you see that, listen to it, and you'll get to. No, but that one's on YouTube. So.
Okay.
Next time you see it, go ahead and give it a listen. It's really strange. It's just bizarre.
But it's just interesting that now they're like, yeah, these games are and like when I see the ads for this game that's supposedly not fake, I don't think they're still real because like.
I think it's a lie.
Yeah, because they have a physics and like the game is like you have to like pull these bars out and like there's a dude and then there's like a fucking minotaur and like gold coin and like whenever they show the ad, they like will pull the bar out a little bit and then the gold coins will in their entirety like react with realistic physics and like start to like shift and like drop down, and I'm like, no, your phone can't run that. That's way too much physics for a phone to figure out.
It can, but they wouldn't make it.
No,
because they're just churning and burning apps. They could make it, but they're not making it.
It would require a significant amount of development to be able to make all of those particles react with physics and like 3D graphics and like because it's like a fucking pile of like 600 gold coins.
And if you're designing games for mobile, you want it to work on every type of phone, even the super shitty ones. So
yeah. So, you know, I don't think those ads are even still real. I've considered downloading it not because I want to play it, but as like because like I was like, okay, well I could play it, see how fake it is, and then talk about it on this show. But honestly, until anybody's actually paying me to do this show, I'm not gonna possibly infect my phone with like Chinese malware. So
yeah,
not doing it.
What do you have against Chinese malware?
You know, I only like American malware.
Yeah, I know. What's wrong with you?
But, you know, anyways, ads. We just talked about advertisements for a while. How crazy is that? Hyper-capitalist society we live in.
I feel like that's what they wanted. That's what they wanted. Played right into their hands.
Well, I'm glad that we didn't use the name of any of the fucking things we talked about, except for we didn't use the name of the Lactobacillus KSA Shirota yogurt. We just completely didn't name them. They didn't name drop, so I think we're in the clear.
Good job, us.
If we were like, make sure you check out Shadow Legends or whatever the fuck, you know. There's like so million. Well, no, that's not the game. That's just a game
that's a real game, though.
That is a real game. It's a meme that like people on YouTube get paid to sponsor that game. Like there's this guy who I check out some of his videos because he talks about the original Doom series. And he like gets in depth with like the coding and like how the game works. Like I watched an entire video he made about like the tick rate of the monsters in Doom and like how fast they can move and shoot and all that stuff, and it like broke it down. And like when he started the video, he's like, okay guys, here I go, but first off, before I start this video, I am sponsored by Raid Shadow. I'm just kidding, I'm not really sponsored by them, I would never. Anyways, here we go in the video. And I was like, you fucking guy. So it's
what a silly Billy.
What a silly Billy. Anyways, we're sponsored by Raid Shadow. No,
Finally. I've been waiting. I would talk about Raid Shadow Legends if they gave me money.
Me too, I'd fucking sell out, whatever.
Do it.
Leviathan Dense's posture check and hydrate. So I'm gonna hydrate.
I'm gonna hydrate while keeping my spine very straight.
Gonna correct my spine like I'm in Jacob's Ladder. Relevant. Not to the world,
Wow.
but to us last night because we watched that.
Ian, you're dying. Or you're already dead.
Don't spoil it.
Oh, you're not. You might
Don't
not actually.
Don't spoil this movie from 25 years ago, bro.
You're maybe you're not dead then.
What did you think of Jacob's Ladder?
I thought parts of it were intriguing, but every moment that I felt like I'm intrigued, it felt like a betrayal when I got the actual solution. But I feel like and I could be wrong, I don't know, it'd be hard to say, but I feel like for when it came out, it might have been doing something original at the time, but now that's been done so many times that it feels lazy.
Yeah.
Just to spoil Jacob's Ladder, we're gonna spoil it. If you don't want it spoiled, please mute the video.
Please mute the video. Go rent it on Amazon for $5 and watch this movie from
Tim Robbins needs
25 years ago.
the money. He's
Yeah.
broke. Okay, so anyways, basically at the end, it turns out whether it's like some kind of like purgatory or spiritual thing, or whether it's like his like brain activity before he dies. Either way, whatever, we find out it's like at the end that he's like dying or dead, and this is like his last experience before finally like giving in and like letting go and dying.
Yeah. But
anyways, so you're watching this entire movie, all this stuff happening to him, like nonstop stuff, but it's all like, if you just find out at the end, it's all like was in his head or whatever, or didn't mean anything. It's like, okay, so every single shot I watched was random. Like,
that's
no point to any of it.
That's exactly how I felt. Is I was like, okay, so I just watched gibberish. Like, I was mad because I was like, okay, like I can understand if this is all culminating to something, because the movie is just like, he's one place, he sees some shit, he freaks out, he's another place, and there's like this plot line that it seems like they're developing of like this chemical that they like all got sort of
and that was the most interesting part of the thing to me. And then it turned out it's bullshit.
Then it's just all a fucking lie, and it's just like, okay, well, thanks for. So like, it literally does feel like you just watched gibberish, which was unfortunate because I was kind of I was intrigued. Like, I was gonna go to bed because it was very late. And then like things started happening. I was like, fuck, all right, I'll stick around. And then like, you find out the ending, and it's like, oh. So it was literally just like you could have put all of the scenes of that movie on a dartboard and like thrown the darts and gotten a completely
any order,
and it would have been the same result.
It's true.
Except for, I guess, the fact that they do reveal what the chemical was at the end. That's the only part that had like a logical through line to it. But again, it didn't matter. None of it was real.
Yeah.
I just hate that shit.
I don't know. Bubba Rocket says, yeah, why the fuck even start a plot line like that if it's all a dream anyway?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it could have been, the shots could have been anything. How do you edit a movie like that? Like, what do you even,
I don't know.
What do you keep in?
One thing, so I actually, out of curiosity, like whenever I watch a movie, I tend to Wikipedia and IMDb it so I can like read up on it afterwards, because I like, sometimes I'm just like, what the fuck was the director trying to say, or like what did people think, or like what was the cultural impact of this movie that I did or didn't like, and like apparently in that movie they had 20 extra minutes of footage that they cut because audiences found it too disturbing.
Oh.
And I mean,
there were some crazy shots in that, especially for its time. Like, there's part where like somebody puts like a syringe into like his head, like between his eyes. Like,
yeah,
that's kind of gnarly.
But Double Rocket says, yeah, why the fuck? Yeah, just when the movie starts to go somewhere, it fizzles, and revealing the end is stupid and lazy too. Like, we did not just watch a documentary. Fuck off. Yeah, like, if it was about a real person, like if you. Don't waste my time. I don't know. Like, if you're gonna make a movie about a thing, don't say like, I just kidding.
Gotcha. Psych.
Xenud says
it's about the journey, not the destination. I agree, because that's the part that I found interesting. I guess I seek some resolution of some kind in a film, and it felt like an anti-resolution. Well,
especially because it's a film that promises a resolution. It's like a film that's like culminating towards this mystery, and then you find out
it's a quest for the solution. Yeah, like he's searching for the answer this whole time.
Also,
and then the answer is like there wasn't one.
Yeah, like there were some cool visuals in that movie. Like the guys were like vibrating very fast, which apparently
some cool effects.
Those were shot at 4 frames per second and then sped up to 24 frames per second. There was no
nice.
post-production on those shots aside from speeding up the frame rate. But like the thing
My
about
criticisms come from a story point, not from the actual like film and the visuals. Like that part, cool. I liked it. It kept my attention. But
I'm gonna criticize the journey.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm saying the story is the part that I'm criticizing. Not
I'm criticizing the journey. Because the journey was a fucking just like random. It was just like I said, it was like except for the part about like the ladder chemical or whatever, like everything else in the movie was just like throwing darts at a dartboard, and the scenes could have been in any order. Like the journey, like if it's gonna be a movie about the journey, I need like the movie Inside Llewyn Davis is about the journey because it's just basically like a week in this guy's life, and like he ends up in the exact same place he started. So like the end doesn't matter. It's everything that happens in between. That's a movie about the journey, but it's also a series of events that you can follow and you can like understand what's going on. This was a movie where like all of a sudden he's talking to his son, then he's at a party, then he's freaking out at some bats, and then all of a sudden he's in a chiropractic. Like the journey was just random, it felt like, aside from like this through line of like maybe them following this chemical. So the journey the journey that I could follow in that movie was this story about a chemical that was promising a resolution. So if you're gonna like, if the only thing I can latch on to emotionally and logically is like a story that's promising to solve a mystery for me, then the end point, like a mystery, the end point is the important part, because you can't just like have a mystery in a movie and then be like, like you can't.
Turns out it wasn't a mystery. The end.
So like the journey. For me, like for me, that movie, even if it's about the journey, then the journey was not worth my time. Not to shit on a movie that people like, but
visually interesting.
Yeah,
and that's about the one.
Although
compliment.
My one complaint about the visuals also is that party scene where it's just like it felt like when he started freaking out, they were just shaking the fucking camera around so much, and it just strobe lights and shaking the camera around. I was just like, okay. I don't know.
I wonder if there's supposed to be like parallels between what was actually happening to him and what was in his head. Like all the people like grabbing him and putting him in an ice bath could be like the people putting him on the table or whatever.
True. It's possible.
He was like, when he's revealed, he's dead on the table. So there might be like weird little things like that, but still, like that's not enough to to make it feel like satisfying in the end.
Yeah.
And for me, anyway.
No, I mean, there's just, I wish I'd gotten a little bit more out of that film. I understand why people like it. I understand why like some people dig it. I mean, it did.
Acting was good.
Yeah, acting was great. I mean, the very first scene with Tim Robbins and his then girlfriend in the movie, because he's like got a wife that he's divorced that they also bring up, but like he's got a girlfriend in the movie, and like the very first scene, I was just like, they had like just like these small interactions. It wasn't like anything major. They were just kind of talking with each other, and this is before the relationship started to seem like toxic in the movie. But like those interactions, I was just like, oh, see, look, you wrote a relationship in this movie that feels like, it felt like I was watching two characters who had an actual relationship. It's not like one of those movies where it's like, boy, we're a boyfriend and girlfriend and we like each other, and then that's all I have to go on. Like, I got to see the relationship a little bit before it, like, shit started to go south, and I thought, like, this is good. I like this.
Yeah.
It's like one of my favorite parts of the movie Pulp Fiction. And apparently Quentin Tarantino had like the least to do with these parts, is like there's like all these cute scenes with like Bruce Willis and like that lady that he's with, and like they're pretty cute. Like I think they are.
It makes you like be like, oh, I want them to work out.
Yeah, like they're really cute scenes, and those are some of my favorite parts of that movie. And like that's very hard to pull off, is like showing this relationship between two people and like making it not feel forced and making it feel natural. So like the scenes in the movie between characters and Jacob's Ladder, I thought were the strongest parts, were like when they were establishing like friends and relationships. I thought those were the strongest elements.
This is kind of unrelated.
Mm-hmm.
It was just something I thought about. I also think those cute scenes in Pulp Fiction are important because it shows how important the watch is to him when he's like a dick to her all of a sudden, like snaps at her.
Right.
It's like this is his most important possession type
in
thing. It's like he's been like so nice to her, even though he's kind of like involved with some crazy shit. He's like still like
he's like nice. Despite his hardened exterior and despite the fact that he's
wholesome.
Yeah.
But then when the watch goes missing, suddenly like an asshole kind of.
Yeah. Why was his girlfriend getting fucked? I thought that was somebody else at the party getting fucked. I didn't. It was hard to tell because everything was.
I don't know.
Everything was shaky and strobe
It was
lighty.
going around his. I think it was like skipping around his life. So like, there's times where he's like with different women, and I'm just like, I didn't remember who was who. And I was power washing kind of on my other eye. So I'm like, wait a minute, is that a different actress? What is?
The scariest part about Jacob's Ladder was actually the sort of synopsis of the ending that I read on Wikipedia today, which is like, we're all trapped in eternity. Like, we're here, and then when we die, we have to deal with eternity, and there was eternity before. We're like it or not, we're all trapped within eternity, and that's terrifying to think about. And that's apparently what Jacob Ladder is kind of about, and you have to make the choice to then ascend to eternity. But that's a scarier thought than anything I feel like I got out of the movie.
Are you saying like you believe in an afterlife type eternity? Or are you saying like just like non-existing counts as part of eternity?
Yeah, I mean eternity, like the world's gonna like
without consciousness. What is eternity?
No one knows.
True, but I mean, I'm okay. I'm relating to before I existed. When I say like it's, Yeah. Well, what was it like before you existed, and what's it gonna be like after you existed? There's eternity on either end. Well, if after I exist is the same as before I existed, pretty chill. Yeah. Not much to report.
Yeah.
About.
But I mean, eventually you woke up.
True.
What about after? That's the scary part. That part is scary to me. That's the scariest part that I think the movie might be trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, well, we don't. Who knows what comes after this? And I have some guesses, but
yeah, we all have guesses, but no one knows for sure, and it's forever. It's eternal. I think whatever ends up being, that's it.
You're in line for a hot dog cart, and the line just never moves.
Maybe we're just in a roller coaster forever.
In line, or actually on the roller coaster?
On the roller coaster. You're just on Mr. Bones' wild ride for the rest of your life.
That sounds like you're like, oh, I'm in heaven, and then like 3 rides in, you're like, I'm in hell, and then it just goes forever, and you're very ill. And
you're just throwing up the rest of your life, your eternity. Who knows? So that's the part that's the part that fucks with me the most. But I mean, the movie I feel like didn't touch upon that very, very much at all. But the Wikipedia article mentioned it, and I'm like, oh, that's scarier.
Yeah. Is that based on a book, or is that just straight up a movie?
Jacob's Ladder is based on a book, yeah. It was it was a book, and then it was actually adapted into a screenplay, and then the screenplay didn't get turned into a movie for like 10 years.
All right.
Because nobody could figure out how to shoot it.
I think it's time for us to go to a small break.
Alrighty.
What do you think about that?
This. Yeah. We should probably talk about Power Wash when we get back, because we just drew a picture of it.
Let's do that.
Alrighty.
All right. Cool.
Bye! Hello, folks. I'm eating Twizzlers. I'm eating candy. I found candy during the break, and I wanted to eat it.
Is it just plain Twizzlers?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have the regular strawberry. Then there's like the like braided one that's like cherry.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're like a bad person, there's black licorice.
I like the cherry one a lot too. Those braids are fun, but it's just a regular. I mean, the OG is pretty much the best flavor I think of Twizzler.
Agreed. I don't really care for the others, to be honest.
I like the cherry.
I think as a kid, I was like, I'll do the rope one because it's fun to unwind it, but the flavor is. I was sacrificing flavor for
it's
fun.
A different. I think it's a different flavor, but I can understand why.
I don't really like cherry in candy because it usually tastes like medicine to me.
Yeah, a lot of people agree with that. Yeah.
Artificial cherry is not. They haven't really nailed that down.
Artificial cherry and artificial black cherry.
Yeah, not great either.
Although I don't think black cherries. Are black cherries like a real ass thing?
I think there's a darker kind of cherry that has a little bit more of a. I don't know how to describe it. Like a less. I mean, like dark fruit has a different flavor than like cherries, like a blueberry or raspberry, like a blackberry. They have more of a. I can't put my finger on it, but there's like a flavor that's different. I don't know how to describe it.
It's hard. I mean, especially because, like, how do you describe a flavor without referencing other flavors, you know?
I think you're usually mentioning, like sweetness, tartness. You know, you're mentioning...
The 5 flavors.
Edamame.
Oh, no, umami. Edamame is...
Umami. That's edamame. It's not umami. That's very different.
Still need to make that YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Belbel Rocket says Zach is a bad person, Twizzler ways. Oh, because Zach loves black licorice. Xenoots is a big fan of the black licorice, and he eats it. I don't mind it. I wouldn't go like out munching it, but I wouldn't mind it.
I feel like black licorice was something like a snake oil salesman would sell to people.
I feel like black licorice.
It's good for you. It's good for your digestion. Eat this stuff, and you're like, okay, I guess it's good for me, so I should eat it.
Makes your shooting hand steady. I feel like black licorice was probably the first flavor of licorice before they realized how to make food taste good. And then they figured out the rest of the shit later in the 70s.
What herb is that, or spice? I forget. It's straight up just like.
I want to say it's it starts with the. I know it. There's a MF Doom song that I could. It's like. Fuck. I know it. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Anise.
Anise. Thank you. It is anise.
Anus. It's anus.
Man, suck my anus.
Anus is what black licorice is flavored.
That's right.
Makes sense. Yeah. And you find that flavor a lot in certain like things. A lot of times it's in like beverages and like alcohols and stuff like absinthe and a lot of gins have it going on.
Yeah, a lot of gins, especially if you drink absinthe. I think you just said absinthe, right?
I did. Yeah. But that's very much
absinthe is
licorice.
Super duper black licorice flavor. But it's also like it's if you put like if you pour it over sugar cubes.
I actually like absinthe, but I hate Jägermeister.
I think I like Jaeger. I think I did shots of Jaeger. I think at the film festival I was at, but
I've done shots of Jaeger, and that's why I hate it now. Like one bad night with Jaeger will kill it forever.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, if I got myself fucked up on Jägermeister like shots, I would probably not be able to look at the stuff or smell the stuff without wanting to vomit. But absinthe, do you remember how people used to be like, "Oh, absinthe makes you hallucinate"?
It used to. It's not made the same way anymore.
Makes sense, yeah. Like how they do.
It used to have different ingredients, I believe.
Had a little bit of mercury in there.
Unless that's bullshit. I mean, I'm curious now. What made absinthe?
Go googling. In the meantime,
we need a prompt.
We need a prompt. I'm gonna go try something here. Tom thinks it's a props generator. I'm gonna see if it's like public.
Oh, one that you can use? That's cool.
I don't know. He uses it for his stream, and I've seen it. He made it himself because he does all of his own coding because he's fucking brilliant. But I don't know if it's freely available. I'm gonna see what I can find out.
Okay, so I have a update on absinthe. Apparently, a lot of it is bullshit, and you were kind of right. But what they say is, it's a kind of a misconception. Nothing in absinthe will make you hallucinate. Never has, never will. But there is a chemical found in wormwood, which is absinthe's primary flavoring, called thujone, that's known to be a convulsant at extremely high doses.
Interesting.
So I think wormwood can fuck with you if you have a ton of it.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe now for like modern day absinthe, they've like found like a substitute for that, or they've limited it so it doesn't. I don't even. Convulsant is like a scary word. It's like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Does it make you convulse?
That's that. If anyone were to ever be like, here, drink this, it's a convulsant, I'd be like, no.
No, I'm good.
No, thank you.
I'm gonna have Pepsi instead.
I would rather not. Thank you very much. I farted just now. Wasn't gonna hold that baby in.
That's a power move.
It is. Smell my colon. I'm looking up.
Unfortunately, Twitch doesn't have that feature yet. You can't smell streamers.
They're working on it. We're gonna get that plugin added in eventually.
Would that get us more viewers or less?
About the same.
More? I mean, there's sometimes I don't shower before a stream.
I specifically shower before our stream because I got nothing else going on in my life.
Sometimes I just pop a hat on because my hat is my hair is my giveaway of whether I'm clean or not. Usually.
Yeah, well, that's why my face will also look very greasy after a while, but the hair is usually the first to go. If you're being filthy, the hair is the first to go. Gosh, there is no good phrase generator in the world. I swear.
Let me try to look for some prompts too, and if anybody has any, throw them out in the chat. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we won't. Who knows?
I found one called random synonym generator. There's like a bunch of this one website that has a whole bunch. I
usually use artprops.org, and like half of them are bad, but then there's some goodies in there.
I keep trying to find new prompt websites to hope that I can maybe find
one. I just looked up. I don't really feel like drawing Santa, but it's fun. It says Santa Claus, but it's spelled CLAWS. Pretty decent prompt.
Yeah. I found one called Pictionary Generator, which is like it gives you Pictionary words, which might be fun.
Leviathan Dunn says, MF Doom's my favorite rapper, man.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. I still haven't listened. I listened to a lot more of his stuff after he died, which it's a bummer, but that's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
He's a pretty good rapper. I'm a big fan of his instrumental albums too, like his Special Herbs albums, or some of my formative beat albums I listened to when I was first getting into making beats and shit like that.
I have a prompt that I think would be fun to draw.
All right.
You can shoot it down if you want, but I just rolled the dice and it came up, and I think it's pretty fun. Drunk Sasquatch.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
So that's the prompt. Everybody who wants to join in, please join in. You can post your drawings in the DrawBomb Discord, which, if you're not a member of yet, what are you even doing?
What are you even fucking doing with your life?
Man, what are you doing?
You want to go to the DrawBomb Discord? There you go. Bada bing, bada boom. I have a button to do that. Yeah, if you draw along with us, you can post in DrawBomb along. That's the semi-confusing name.
Hell, if you draw stuff, we'll even like let you plug your places you post your art. You know.
Yeah. If we can't get viewers, means you're probably having a harder time than us. So why don't we help you out?
Just wait till you get that DrawBomb bump where you get 5 new people on your stuff.
Hell yeah, dude! I got the DrawBomb bump, dude. I'm fucking famous. We also watched Last Night in Soho. Is that a movie is that the name of that thing?
What? Is it Last Night or One Night? I don't remember what it's called. Something in Soho.
Idea. I don't know.
I'm not sure. It's the new Edgar Wright movie.
Yeah, the one that came out after Baby Driver. I'm gonna look it up real quick. We might as well say the right name. Last Night in?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Last Night in Soho. Is it because it's her last night in Soho, or is it because it's like last night in Soho It
always happens at night, and then she's like doing stuff the next day, like she's like trying to make it, dealing with what she saw and did. So it has a double meaning.
What?
You see. Double meaning, bro. Oh!
Bro, double meaning across the sky, dude. I fucking hate how Discord freezes whenever I click enough tabs away. But here we are. Maybe if I had Discord up on a third screen, it would freeze less. I don't know. The point is, welcome back, folks. We're here. We're gonna draw a drunk Sasquatch. Drunk Scramps. What did you think of Last Night in Soho? Because we have absolutely nothing else to talk about.
To use like a summary that I just used for Jacob's Ladder, visually interesting but unsatisfying.
Yeah, accurate. Yeah, I'd say that. I feel the same.
Same for both.
Yeah, we kind of had a visually interesting but lacking night with those movies.
Yeah, they're pretty to look at most of the time. But I don't know. I felt like the ending was kind of like rushed and unsatisfying. I feel like they were trying to make it like a big reveal, but it didn't feel so much like one to me.
Yeah, I feel like that movie was very interested in its own mystery, but the mystery itself, I didn't. So, I mean, it came out last year. We can just fucking talk about. Like, let's just spoil the shit. Who cares? If you want to watch the newest Edgar Wright movie, Last Night in Soho, it's on a place.
You don't want us to spoil it, then stop listening now.
Yeah. Bella Rocket, who was with us as well as Xenus when we were watching those movies, said I basically fed you the same movie twice. SARS. But
Nah.
So Last Night in Soho, I feel like was super interested in its own mystery, but the mystery itself didn't resonate with me because it's
a little bit.
As far as we know, there was no mystery, because like for the longest time that movie is basically like a girl is like having psychotic breaks and like hallucinating stuff and then like she's having these hallucinations and then she's just trusting the shit out of them. She's like going to the cops telling people like, I know this, I know that, I saw it in my hallucination, you gotta arrest that guy, I'm gonna try and kill this person. And the whole time I'm like,
she's super confident.
Girl, you don't know what the fuck you saw. You don't know anyone. And she ends up getting a fucking innocent man killed in the movie. He gets hit by a car because she's just like, I know you killed this person. And guess what? That was actually the guy who was trying to help that person out. She fucking gets him killed. And so like the whole time, like there's this mystery that we're supposed to be very like involved with and like curious about, because the whole movie is building up to this mystery and like trying to like find the solution. But the whole time I'm just like, we don't know if the mystery is real. It's all hallucinations. and every evidence we've gotten in the movie so far is that these hallucinations are incorrect.
Trying to make sense of it, we're like, oh, so this person that she's like, because basically she's like going into somebody else's body from like 50 years ago and like living their experiences.
Yeah.
And she's thinking that it's... Yeah, so we're like, okay, so why is she like believe this, that she's not just having like a psychotic break and she actually thinks this is all like fact? And so we're like, okay, it must be someone important to her. Maybe this was her mom or maybe blah, blah, blah. And nope, it's just some random person.
Yeah,
that she met like the day before it started happening.
Yeah, just a rando. And so like, yeah, so and again, like what bothered me so much was that she like went to the cops going like, I had these hallucinations, you gotta arrest these folks. And I'm just like, what? No.
In what world do you think that would work?
Yeah, this shit. And
Even
she
if
like,
you're sure the real, you wouldn't be like, okay, I can get someone put away for this.
Yeah, on like no evidence. And she's like going around shouting at people, like saying like, you murdered her. It's like, first of all, you don't know if she's dead. You don't know that this person did that. In fact, you're proven to be incorrect 2 seconds later. And so it's like when she finds out that she's wrong about who the guy is, like I immediately was just like, okay, well, I don't think anything that you saw happen. And it turns out that was the case. It turns out she was completely wrong from the get-go. So it's like dumb. I don't know.
And every time there was like a moment where it was like she was like supposed to be like solving part of it, the movie was like, no, but here's what actually happened. You're wrong. And then it's just show you, or somebody would just like spill their guts and tell you, and you just be like, oh, okay.
Well, there was one interesting scene. I thought it was going to get really interesting when she was in the library with that dude who was too nice for this world. Jonathan, I think is the name of that character.
I feel like that's the thing I took away the most from that movie is that man's journey.
That man deserves a fucking like Purple Heart. Because he puts up with so much shit and he just never at all questions that like maybe this is a toxic relationship.
For no reason. Maybe if they like established that they were already like dating for a long time before this took place, that'd be believable. But he like basically has a crush on her.
Yeah, the main vibe I got from that character was that he's just so desperate because he's never been laid. Because like he's just like this girl's interested. Like I don't know.
It's just wild. Like he's like literally, once again, sorry we're spoiling the movie, but there's literally a time in the movie he gets stabbed in the stomach. He gets almost like arrested. All this shit just because he's like being nice. And like I'm not saying you shouldn't be nice, but like she's having like straight up psychotic breaks and no one can like tell what's going on besides her.
Yeah.
And he's like almost like she legit almost stabs someone in the face with a pair of scissors. She gets like an inch away from their face, swinging it, and he catches her arm, and then he's still like sticking up for her, and it's like,
yeah.
He just met her like this semester, like
they
a couple
specifically
weeks ago.
They say the time
had
frame
like
and
3 conversations.
Yeah, they say the time frame, and it's just like, oh yeah, I moved in about 2 weeks ago. And it's like, okay, so this dude's known you for 2 weeks, and he's already stopping you from murder and like doing damage control for you after the fact. Like this,
it's just wild. And then then in the end he gets stabbed in the stomach, and he's still like,
I love you, Steve.
With her and trying. Yeah, and it's like, wow.
He's
That's
like.
A lot.
In the last scene, like before like the final scene, he's like stabbed in the stomach, he's bleeding out, he's like lying on the ground, and he's going like, Ellie, watch out, she's trying to stab you now. And it's like, bro, worry about your own gut.
Yeah, it's time to worry about yourself for a change.
Yeah, so poor Jonathan, too good for this world. The real MVP
I'm just glad they didn't kill him off, because that would have felt really mean.
If he doesn't die in the movie, folks, just spoiler some more, but he doesn't die, he makes it through to the end, and I was so fucking happy because I was just like, if this dude dies, I'm legitimately gonna feel sad because like the dude was just what a tragic tale of like just the most nicest person apparently in the fucking world, like unrealistically nice. But yeah, like they're the most interesting, like the movie Damage Control Me Daddy, that's right. The scene that I thought the movie was really going to kick off and get interesting was when they're in the library right before she tried to stab the person, but like they're like legitimately like investigating this murder now, like they're doing the legwork to like figure out if like what she's seeing is real. And I was like, okay, great, time for some concrete hard facts. Sorry, my camera keeps blurring me, but it's time for some concrete hard facts, time for us to finally like learn what is real and what is not in this mystery. And they're doing that for about 2 minutes, and then she had, like, every time it seems like they're gonna have an interesting moment in the movie, she starts hallucinating and freaking out again, and it's like a bunch of, like, faceless men are going, like, and so, like, the one scene in the library where it's like they're about to do some sleuthing and, like, really solidify this storyline that we're supposed to get on board with, they just cut it off because she starts hallucinating again, and then she starts going around screaming at people going, you did it! You did it! And it's like, no, you don't know shit. You didn't even finish researching.
I like when she accuses the one guy and she's finally like, I'm ready to solve this mystery. And she's like, he's like, what's up? And he's just like, what about Sandy? And it's like, this took place like 50 years ago. She just uses one like first name. And he's like, what about her? Everyone knew her. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, why do you remember this random person from like half your life ago?
There's only one Sandy?
You've only known one Sandy in your life? And a stranger is saying it to you, so like you're supposed to associate with this person that they was like existed long before they were ever even born.
Very, very confusing movie. Very
like, does he know that she's like time traveling? Why would he like be like, yeah. I don't know.
He has no frame of reference. It's like he's been watching the movie with us almost.
Exactly. It feels that way.
And so, yeah, I you know, it's kind of, it's a movie that's very interested in its own mystery, but like the mystery needed anything to solidify. It just was like, as far as we know, we're going off, like I could have gotten drunk and like imagined I did some shit last night and like we'd be solving the same mystery if we were doing like Last Night in Soho. So, or I guess that's The Hangover. The Hangover was better, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The Hangover was a better Last Night in Soho. But yeah, disappointing. That's it.
Yeah, probably one of my least favorite Edgar Wright movies.
You know, of the ones I've seen, I agree, and I haven't seen a lot. I've seen, I mean, Scott Pilgrim was my least favorite until Last Night in Soho.
I like Scott Pilgrim.
I wish I liked Scott Pilgrim. I really liked the first hour. No, I liked the first 40 minutes, I would say. There's like a point in I wish they had made Scott. I think we've talked about this on a previous episode, but might as well just hash it out again. But I wish that the Scott Pilgrim movie had either been a TV series or 2 movies, because there's like a point in the movie where the pacing is really good, and it's fast, it's snappy, it's funny, people are diving through windows like perfectly timed, and it's very enjoyable. And then as soon as they defeat like Chris Evans and they start like fighting the DJ twins, like you're kind of like watching a movie, and then you hit a point where you're just like going too fast on a fucking roller coaster trying to keep up with everything, because it's just like, now he's gonna fight this guy, and oh, by the way, we gotta fight that, but we gotta fight that, but then we gotta get to the club, we gotta fight in the club, and just like, slow down. I like, if you're gonna make a movie and you're gonna condense 7 X's into one single movie, which is a lot to ask for, cut some X's out of the equation. Cut out the twins. The twins are unnecessary.
There was a moment about 3/4 through the film where you look at your watch and you're like, we still got like 5 X's. What are we doing? We gotta move.
And they just fucking like, it's like they shot all the X's. Like, it's like, it's like you might as well have like stuck your arm out and just clothesline the rest of the X's as you're like trying to reach the end of the fucking movie, because you ran out of time because you spent so much time developing the first 3, like up to Chris Evans. And it's like, it just bummed me out, because like I was having so much fun with it, and I was like, this might be like my new favorite movie. And then you hit that point where it just like it hits overdrive, and like you hit the NOS, and then and it just speeds by everything too fast, and you lose all like, for those first 3 X's, like you're having character moments, you're having like these like relationships developed, you're having all this stuff, and then it's just like colors for like another 40 minutes, and then it's like, oh, by the way, here's the end of the movie. And I was like, oh, what, how unfulfilling. And that's it. And like this, you know what, I do know for a fact that we talked about this before, because we talked about like the intricacies of the comic book and what that's trying to say, and that the movie completely like didn't manage to do right. Bella Rocca says, a rare instance of Ian having the right opinion. Yeah.
He's like, look, you're not wrong, but fuck you.
Yeah, my opinions are gonna be wrong, and I'm happy with them. I can at least justify my bad opinions. I can't say that.
I think I'm learning. So I like to think I have high standards when it comes to movies, but I'm thinking I think everybody has their like guilty pleasures that make them like a thing. Like our friend Austin, good friend of the show, he'll like a terrible movie because like the special effects are really like well done. Yeah. And I am finding I kind of similar. I like certain movies that I think are just like have some good sequences or have some like fun visuals. Like that'll win me over if I'm just like, you know, if there's a scene that just kind of like gets me where I'm like, that was a lot of fun. I don't know, because like I like Scott Pilgrim, but I agree with everything you're saying, 100%. The pacing is all fucked up, and it's like a pale comparison to the book and all that. But I still just like, whenever I'm watching a movie, gets like enough points to put it in the like win column, just if it's like unique enough for me, because I just am so like sick of seeing the same thing 1,000 times. Yeah. So anytime something's a little different, I almost like am like, okay, good, that was good, even if it wasn't. I think. So it's kind of piggybacking off of what you just said, because everything's been done 1,000 times. I agree. And so for me, you know, if you have a really good plot that's clever, and like I love Ocean's 11. I love that movie because like the heist in that movie and like the setup and the payoff is all so perfectly done, in my opinion. You feel smart kind of watching it, but you're also watching all these people just like be fucking clever and suave. I don't know. Ocean's 11 is one of my favorite movies, and it's not like a great movie. I think it's just like a movie that hits its marks perfectly, and that's to me like my favorite movie of all time is still Fight Club, because it's not like a mind-blowing movie. It's a very good movie in my opinion, but it's not like, you know, it's not gonna change your life. But I think the movie is so expertly crafted, and it tells a story that is interesting and enjoyable and like kind of a roller coaster to sit through, that like it hit everything I wanted. But also the thing about Fight Club and Ocean's 11 is that the characters are kind of the crux of everything. Like, you care about Danny Ocean because you've been invested in his relationship with Tess. You've been given enough like
material where you actually like Matt Damon's character. You like Saul. You like Bernie Mac's character. You like fucking those two doofuses who are like best friends who are like complete children with each other. You know, you get like, for me, it's not the plot that's gonna like sell it to me, because every plot has ever been done, and half the time I'm able to predict what you're trying to do like 2 scenes ahead of what you're doing, or 2 scenes before you plan on telling me what you're doing. But if the characters, it's like how my favorite part of Pulp Fiction is the scenes between Bruce Willis and his girlfriend. It's like you just have these character moments of people sort of doing things, and I think because every plot has been done under the sun since fucking Chaucer. Like if you go back and you read the Canterbury Tales, like the Canterbury Tales is basically like all of the most basic story plots that exist that you can have. The Canterbury Tales is like the prototypical version of that. Like there's like 20 people each telling a story. They each tell like 2 stories on like the to and the from of the pilgrimage. But like this one story is like the thief. It's like a 3-way thieves like fucking each other over in it. You might as well be watching like the Canterbury Tales did Reservoir Dogs before Reservoir Dogs. So like nothing's new. It's all been done. Like Chaucer did that shit long before you, and so did like fucking Lord Byron and all that stuff. Every story's been told. Every story's been told. So like you're not gonna get me with like an amazing plot unless it's a very amazing plot. But what you're gonna get me with is emotion and characters and like people I can like relate to, and like what is their experience? How can I relate to that experience? What are they learning, and what does that say about like the human condition? What does that say about life? Like, what are you trying to say in your movie, or who are these characters, and can I sort of like, can I like attach myself to these, even if it's like a terrible character? Like if I can like find myself enjoying watching this awful person, like Breaking Bad or something like that, I'm good. Like Breaking Bad, you know, whenever people talk about Breaking Bad, they don't talk about like, yo, isn't it crazy that the meth is blue? No, you talk about Gus, you talk about Jesse Pinkman, you talk about Walter White, you talk about Skyler, because it's about the characters. And if every plot ever has been done, where you're really going to get a unique story is who the people are and how they bounce off of each other, and what does their bouncing off of each other and colliding and like that, what does that say about life and everything else? So
that's a good point. You can't write a unique story, but you can still write unique characters.
Yes, exactly.
Fairly easily.
It's like, I always think about this because I would love to write a character like this the one time, but a very good friend of mine from the college, and who I still am in contact with on very slight occasions, but he was a drug dealer. A very good friend of mine. He's a rapper, and he like did all that stuff, and he's gotten me and some other folks into some kind of shady situations. But he also loves scrapbooking, and one day for my birthday, he made a custom birthday card depicting one of the songs that we wrote together. And I was like, this is so sweet. And like, you would never think that like this guy who has all these other things that he's doing also loves like cutting and pasting shit together into a delightful display for you to like read inside of a card. And that to me is like beautiful. Like, that's when I like, if Dex, I just said his name, but I'm not gonna say his last name, but if my friend Dex was a character in a movie, he would probably be like my favorite character, because like you would have these scenes where he's doing all this stuff that's maybe like not so good, and then like he's doing this other stuff that's like fine or whatever, but like then all of a sudden he's also scrapbooking and like making a just a very personal and nice card, like a birthday card for somebody that they care about. And
the best character, nobody's like a Disney villain, you know, everybody's got like their humanity. So like that's, I think the best writers show that in their stuff, where it's like, maybe I've killed a few people, but I love scrapbooking too. You know,
yeah, like, Dex hasn't killed anybody as far as I know.
No, I know, I wasn't trying to say that. I'm sure he's delightful.
Yeah, no, he's a very nice person. He's a great guy. But yeah, the scrapbooking thing is just like so out of left field. It's not out of left field. There's no reason to believe he wouldn't be into scrapbooking. It's just that I don't know anybody else in the world who likes scrapbooking. You know, and I feel like I've always wanted to start scrapbooking. I think I would like it. When I was in college, I did a collage. Like, we had a collage.
I'm sentimental.
Yeah.
I collect. Oh, we got Zone Dog subscribing.
Whoa!
13 months.
Jesus.
Wow, what a wild thing to do.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zone Dog. We love you.
This is Rasputin. Oh, wait. Do that again.
Oh, no.
Fight.
Did it work? It didn't work. You don't have Mix It Up open.
No, I do.
Oh, did I get punched?
I think what happened was because
Mine didn't work.
I was switching the camera angles around. I think Mix It Up got confused.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, I still pretend like I got punched. Maybe mine was a ghost. I got punched by a ghost.
You got ghost punch. I'll do us a favor right now.
Player one. Fight.
It's hard. You're right. It is hard to do it. Oh, I timed it pretty good
No,
actually.
you timed it. I think you timed it well enough.
It's hard to do it when you're not the one in control. I was the one who created that when I still hosted, and you were always like, "Man, I never know when to do it." And I'm like, "It's easy. Just fucking do it when you hear it." And I understand now.
Yeah. But you know, I love that you added that. I think that was a complete surprise that you added that, and I think it's a blast.
I want to do more. It just takes a second to do.
Yeah, it does.
I got to finish the little Draw Boy that pops up for our notifications. I have like the base animation done, but I haven't finished it.
Oh, nice. Also, Zenute says that they drew something and they have posted it in the DrawBomb along, so let's get that ready to go. But yeah, I don't know. I just think about, like, if I ever want to write a good character who, like, has depth, I think about Dex, because I'm just like, that man made me a card for my birthday, and he absolutely did not have to.
Sweet.
It was very sweet, and I thanked him, and I let him know, like, damn, dude, that's so fucking nice and thoughtful of you. But you know, it's
interesting
also
when you know some of those characters that are like kind of complex or interesting, like that.
Yeah.
I once knew a guy that I worked with, who's sous chef at the restaurant I was at, and he was he moved here from he was probably like, wasn't super old. He's probably like my age, and he moved from New Orleans, and he was like the very like he loved his cocaine, and he told us all about it. That's the thing he missed the most about New Orleans, and he had like bullet wounds from some of his antics that he had gotten into, and he spent like 5 years of his life dressed like a pirate for no reason. He just was the pirate guy.
like
I
from
don't know.
Dodgeball.
I don't know. Like that, yeah. But before Dodgeball came out, I think.
Really?
Or maybe not, because that's an old movie. Maybe I don't know. He's just a weird guy, and he was like, he's like the guy that I knew in New Orleans paid me $5,000 for the rights to my life, and I sold it to him. So he's like, so I don't know if they'll ever make anything, a book or anything.
That's
like,
wild.
Seems like some weird thing that you would do while you're on cocaine, right? Like,
yeah.
you'd think that, I don't know. So I don't know, just a weird guy. He's nice enough. I'm still friends with him on Facebook.
That's awesome. That's a character though, you know?
It's one of those people that like you see him like they post updates like every so many years.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, they do more often than that, but I'm just saying like every so many years they like transition to an entire like different person.
Yeah, I know someone like that.
Now I'm living on a ranch and I have a giant like prospector beard and I have like pet goats. Now I live on a houseboat and I've been here for 6 months. And now it's like these people that just have lived more life than I will in my entire life.
Yeah.
Not that I'm jealous. I don't want half of that stuff that
yeah, but it's crazy to think about like that. That's you know, everyone's, you know, you think about yourself 24/7, but also everyone else has shit going on 24/7 too. And you know, in those pockets of time, you could have somebody who made a card, things like that.
yeah.
By the way, somebody redeemed suggest a poll. Like we
Zone Dog did.
Yeah, so we
It says, should they be in hot tubs? Well, what are we supposed to redraw our Sasquatches now?
yeah. You know, why do we have that? I don't know what the hell we would do with that redeem if we ever got that, right? Like,
I don't know.
I feel like that's for mods. Like, mods can suggest polls in the chat. But, like, here, I'll do a poll right now for us.
Something relevant?
Yeah. Here, I'm just gonna.
Sasquatch real?
This is gonna take a second, but I'm also gonna show Znoots' Sasquatch on the screen
I'd
now.
love to see it. He's been doing some really good work for this show. Like every time we like do a thing and then we see his, I kind of end up liking it both better than both of ours a lot of times. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that you made it blurry on purpose.
Yeah, I thought that made me laugh pretty hard.
Done.
It's a pretty.
That's great.
It's pretty great. Pretty great use of that prompt right there.
You could have just done the 6-packs in his hands and it would have been funny, but the beer hat is it's just the cherry on top. Well
it
done,
really is,
sir.
Yeah, excellent job. But I remember this one guy. I didn't know him, but I knew of him. The coworkers at the restaurant I used to work at, and I used to go to this very specific karaoke place that was like an hour's drive one way. But it was worth it because it was a great bar, and the karaoke setup they had was like the best because you could just request any song and the guy would find a YouTube video of like the instrumental and you just got to sing whatever song you wanted. So like I did Dayman the one time. Somebody
Nice.
did Hard Fucking from Tenacious D the one time. So you get like all manner of songs, so it's very fun because you can just ask for anything and like you'll get to do it on a stage, and people are very supportive there. And also like the people who weren't at the restaurant the people I worked with at the restaurant were all in theater anyways, so they were great singers. And then the people who were also at the bar who would show up and do karaoke those nights, they were also great singers. So it was like you don't even have to deal with that awkward like I have to hear this shitty person sing, which is a fun part of karaoke, don't get me
I
wrong.
was gonna say I don't feel like that's awkward. I feel like that's part of the charm of going to see karaoke.
It is.
You want a little of both.
You want a little of both, and you did get a little of both, because then there was this guy who I'm now going to talk about named Blade. We don't know his real name.
Whoa.
He went by Blade, and the first time
Maybe his
we
real
ever
name was Blade.
it might have been. One sec. But Blade. The first time we saw Blade. Blade walked in with her boyfriend, and Blade was dressed up like fucking 80s mixture of like Judas Priest, Metallica, Marilyn Manson. And when Blade went up and did his songs, or their songs, I think they were they might have been non-gender conforming, I don't know. But when Blade went up and did their songs, they would do Marilyn Manson and like Rob Zombie songs. And like Blade was like, oh hey, how's it going? I'm Blade. And then like Blade would get up there on the stage and be like, dig through the ditches and go through the burn. And so it was wild. And so Blade, the 2 times in like the 2-year span that we saw Blade at first, that was like Blade's situation. It was everything I just described. Then a couple years later, we didn't go to karaoke, and then we did karaoke again at that place after a couple years. Who should happen to show up but Blade?
Blade in the flesh.
Blade in the flesh, but this time Blade was dressed up as a cowboy, and he sang Willie Nelson, and also his boyfriend wasn't there anymore, or their boyfriend wasn't there anymore.
Did he go by Blade again, or did he have like a
Still
new
went by
identity?
Blade.
Like, I'm Dusty.
Still went by Blade.
Oh.
But cowboy got up now, and it was just a.
So he dresses for what song he's singing that night, is what that leads me to believe.
No, because Blade's like whole thing was the Marilyn Manson getup for like a while. Before like
he was singing heavy metal and he was dressed in like leather and stuff, right?
every night, like we went to carry.
And then he sang Willie Nelson and he came like a cowboy. So he dresses for what he's gonna sing.
Right, but he dressed for what he was gonna sing consistently for like 2 years. The Marilyn Manson and all that stuff. It was only like 2 years after like the hiatus.
So
like after,
you feel like it was more his identity than his like choice of karaoke song.
Yes, because we would consistently see him with that identity for a 2-year span, and then there was a hiatus where we didn't go to that place, and then it was a new identity.
He switched genres, similar to the Beatles after LSD.
Switched genres and switched boyfriends. So
I hope Blade's still out there living their best life. I wonder what they're dressed like and singing now. Maybe they're like in a suit singing like some like lounge singer music, like or some like some Rat Pack shit.
That's possible. There was another guy there who would actually consistently sing Rat Pack stuff, and man, he fucking killed it every time.
People love to sing their Rat Pack stuff at karaoke shows.
They do.
They're just easy songs to belt out. I think that's the whole like.
You can do like a
reason
easy
that
Frank Sinatra
I think that was the
voice.
reason that those were so many people singing that way is because I don't want to say it's easy, but you'd be like, you know, you could hold a drink in one hand and a cigarette in the other, and you never had to go like high octaves or low octaves. You didn't have to like train your voice much.
Yeah.
Just there I was, doo-dee-doo, like.
Yeah. It's
And then that's all you gotta do.
when I was playing when I used to play Rock Band with folks, back when Rock Band was like a popular game, they have Motorhead's Ace of Spades on that game, but you can't sing it like Lemmy because the game doesn't recognize
Your throat will explode into blood if you sing it like Lemmy.
Your throat will explode into blood, and also like the game doesn't know what the fuck pitch you're singing in. If you're like, if you wanna gamble, I'll tell you I'm your man. the needle that tells you what like pitch you're on is like jumping up and down like crazy.
I remember Rock Band.
What I found out was the best way to sing Ace of Spades to get that like good score in that song was to sing it like Frank Sinatra. So they'd be like, and I'd be like, if you want to gamble, I'll tell you I'm your man. You win some, lose some, it's all the same to me.
Those lyrics are straight up a Sinatra song, though.
Yeah,
like,
I've always wanted to do
he could have easily written that song.
I've always wanted to do like a Richard Cheese cover of Ace of Spades. I feel like that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And like get like a little like horn in the background going like.
It incorporates cards, you know? That's already checks off one of the things that they love to sing about.
Yeah.
Gambling, geography, ladies.
Yep. Just
These
like
are the things.
Just general vice. You know, gambling's for fools, and I don't like to lose. But that's the way I like it, baby. I'm not gonna live forever. But that I would get a good score in that song then from that, because you can't sing it like Lemmy. You gotta sing it like Sinatra.
Good to know. There you go, guys. That's a little pro gamers strat.
You want to get yourself a copy of a 10-year-old game.
And also the $1,000 worth of peripherals. Probably, because they're like, where are you gonna find them now? Someone's attic.
That, you know, with Guitar Hero, it was slightly understandable. Like, oh, very fun. But like buying 4 controllers for one game, it's a little bit excessive, right?
It is. And then you have to have like friends to use them, or else.
Yeah. I knew one friend who he
I had a bunch of that stuff.
I had 2 Guitar Hero controllers because I had Guitar Hero 1 and 2. I knew one person who had Rock Band, but they specifically had the drum set for it. And what they would do is they would go into the practice mode, because the practice mode is you could just like hit the different things and it would act like a real drum set. So they bought Rock Band, they would set up the drum set and they would go into practice mode, and then they would just practice the drums. And that was like them basically getting a cheap drum set that they could like volume adjust so they weren't like destroying the neighborhood in like their parents' ears. And I was like, that's brilliant. And he was really good at drums after like practicing.
That's something.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. I had the drums, I had the guitar, and I had the microphone for Rock Band.
Technically, I would have had 2 guitars, but, you know, because I think you could use Guitar Hero 1 and 2 guitars.
Oh, yeah, I guess I had 2 then also, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not.
I played a lot of it, though. I liked Rock Band.
I wish I had it, because I would have loved to do the singing on it. That would have been a lot of fun. They had a lot of songs that I liked. But yeah, it seemed like fun.
That weird karaoke game on Twitch that a lot of people do.
Oh yeah, the what's it called? Songsmith or that's a different thing. I don't know.
I don't know.
I like karaoke. You know, I don't think I did as wild of an idea as you guys did.
I don't know. I feel like I like mine the least of all 3.
Give it time.
I like I like your what are you gonna ruin yours or something?
No, I just assume I'm gonna ruin it eventually.
I like your color choice for your Sasquatch. He's kind of purple.
Thank you. That's something I've been doing a lot lately, is like if I can make something like purple or reddish purple, I kind of like going that
Automatically
direction.
gets you some points for like making it more visually interesting.
Yeah, I've been really trying to like make the color, like if something's gonna be brown or gray or something like that, I've been really trying to like lean into it being like more colorful and vibrant, and like I've been like trying to like paint people, like do people's like skin colors closer to blue sometimes, just out of like I don't know, I've been kind of fucking with colors lately.
Well, that's good.
You know, gambling's for fools.
I never realized that till now, how much that is just like could be a very basic like crooner type song.
Very much so. I bet you Richard Cheese has done a cover.
I was working one time and there was a guy. So I work in a steakhouse, so they play a lot of that kind of music, a lot of Sinatra. And there's one dude sitting in my section, and I was in like, we have different parts of the restaurant, down in the basement on a slow night. There's parts of the restaurant where you're kind of like secluded, honestly. And so they were the only people in this room, and there's a Sinatra song playing, and he kept singing like along, like kind of belting it out. And then like he's like had to like tell me that he's like, actually my job is I'm a Sinatra impersonator. And then I'm like, oh cool. And then he just kept like,
oh dear,
singing them really loudly, and I'm like, stop, like I'm being held hostage, like as you're like performing to me. I didn't want.
Isn't that the worst?
There's nothing like cringier to me than somebody like performing to you when you're like hostage and you can't be like,
yes,
fuck off. You're just like, look at you go. You're good. You're pretty good.
It makes me think, please. Yeah. If you have to like hold somebody up and be like, let me do my talent for you, it's
horrible.
It's not good. It makes me think of, I saw this interview one time of Oprah Winfrey talking with Michael Jackson, and then like Michael Jackson just starts to sing a song to her, like they're like sitting across, like next to each other on a stage. Michael Jackson just starts singing a song, and she like asks him a question. He's like, oh yeah, it's like, and he starts singing to her, and then she's just there and she's like,
yeah, like how do you react?
Yeah, as he's like singing at her. Like I never want to be done a talent at me, you know? I want to be I want a talent
not unless
to be
it's
done
asked for.
Right, yeah, exactly. Unless I ask for it. But like if it, like I would never say to somebody, hey, I'm an artist, and then just start drawing them, and then like they start to walk away. I'd be like, hold still.
Wait, where are you going? I was drawing you.
I'm drawing you. Like that's like what it feels like when someone's like singing at you, you know?
It's horrible. It's the worst.
One time I was talent at me, my agent's autobiography. One time when I was working at the rafting center, there was a person there who had a crush on me. I didn't know them very well, but they crushed on me, and they let it be known pretty quickly. But the one time, like whenever like it was the weekend, we would have like these pretty I don't want to say crazy parties, but we would have parties where we'd get fucked up in the guide lot. And so the one time, like, this person was fucked up, they were drunk, and they were holding like the bottle that they were drinking with, and then they like walk up to me, like, hey there, and then puts their arm around me, and then starts, and like this is like a woman, but she starts singing like deep baritone, like, you know that scene in Spaceballs where she's like, nobody knows.
Yeah, I do.
Imagine that, but the person's got their arm around you and they're singing like an inch away from your face. There's a bottle that they keep like touching their lips with, but they're like,
what was the song?
I don't remember. I was just horrified, and I wanted to get the fuck away.
Like knowing what song it is would just make that so much better.
I wish. I don't think I knew the song, but like like I think about that situation, and I'm like, thank God this person was drunk. I hope they don't remember like how much I wanted to get the fuck away, because they're otherwise a very, very nice person, just a little socially awkward and a little over eager, and you know, there's no reason.
How that would have gone if she did the exact same moves except you were into her.
Oh God.
You're just like, it's like a girl that you're like attracted to, and you have a crush on her, and she has a crush on you, and then she gets drunk and gets in your face and is like, oh yeah, like singing real low.
But I think it's weirder because the woman...
Nobody knows.
This is going to sound a little sexist. I think it was weirder that the woman was singing the deep baritone because her voice is not normally a deep... Like, her voice is just sort of the normal
I feel like
cadence
that'd be impressive.
and pitch of a woman's voice. It's like if I walked up to somebody and I started to sing like...
A full Barry Gibb.
Yeah, full Barry, or like, I'm trying to think of like, if I could turn back time, you know.
Little Cher
A
action.
little bit of Cher action and like, just, yeah. It was a very,
Are you trying to tell me there's something wrong with singing Cher in public? Because
no.
if so, I need to make some calls.
Although, have you ever watched Hotel Hell?
No.
So it's like a Gordon Ramsay show. It's like he goes to like these terrible hotels, and he just like, they're just train wrecks, every single one of them. And he goes through and he just like finds all of the things that are terrible about these places. And it's like, it's my favorite Gordon Ramsay show, and the competition's not very stiff because I've seen Hell's Kitchen and I've seen like Top Chef or whatever. But this show is way more fun because like everything is a train wreck. So bad. And it's like hospitality, so he's like going to these like places, he's like, oh my god, there's rats living in the concierge desk or some shit like that. And so like
No, you don't want that. You
No.
do not want that.
So the reason I bring that up is because one of the hotels he went to, they had terrible food, they had terrible rooms, but every single night one of the owners would go into like the dining area and would start to sing Cher songs really, really badly because she thought she was an amazing singer. And like it turns out the whole reason she had got the restaurant in the first place was so that she could live out her fantasy of being like a lounge singer or like a singer just for like a room of people. So like,
so that's a really long road to travel to get to that destination.
It is. And so like,
out of the way.
The main complaint all of the customers would have at that hotel were like, can she just not? We're trying to have a family dinner here and she's singing, can I go turn back time? And the singing was not good, and wow, what a train wreck. And I just think about, like, every time I think of that Cher song, I can't help but think of that Hotel Hell episode.
It's interesting that you chose Cher as your song as an example of picking an octave different than what your natural one would be, because I think Cher sings lower than you do.
She does, but I couldn't think of like I'm trying to think of like a high-pitched song. I don't know, kind of drawing a blank. I just try to think of like an awkward song that would be to sing like 2 inches away from somebody's face when you're
If I could
drunk.
turn back time.
The way you had that ear, it was a good touch. That sounded very much like Cher.
Thanks.
You had that pitch bend on her vocal cords.
Thank you. I practice daily.
I could tell. Brandon.
Man, the most disappointing part of the episode every week for me.
Is this question right here?
I don't have anything to plug.
You haven't hit the outro button yet. Jeez, now it's turning the colors.
Some projects. I need to have some projects. That's what
We
I
gotta
need.
start. We gotta start working on our next movie, quote unquote.
Yeah.
We gotta.
Or our next DrawBomb experience.
Yes, we gotta do that D&D thing too. I mean, we gotta get that.
Oh, yeah. Got it.
But
Have you made any progress on that?
No.
Me neither.
We need to do what we did with the cop show and just sit down and have like a progress fest.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
Yeah. I mean, we have ideas that we've been kicking, and the D&D thing I think would be so much fun. But so you got nothing?
Nothing to plug. DrawBomb on Mondays. Other than that, I'm just living life. You know, I'm planning a wedding. Everybody's had to listen to me talk about that for like a year now.
When are you gonna get married? Jeez.
Soon, I hope. December. So we're almost done hearing about that.
All right.
And so I've just been doing that shit nonstop. Not, it's fun, but I'm also ready to be married and done planning weddings.
Absolutely. I understand.
I was working on designing an invitation today, and I'm a mediocre graphic designer, so I don't know.
Wow. Well, I'm a god awful graphic designer, so the fact that you
I'll send you what we came up with, because she made one and I made one, and now we're just like sleeping on it to decide which one we go with.
All right. Yeah, I'd love to see him.
Maybe I'll send them to some other artist friends and get some input as well.
As for me,
don't be mistaken though. If I send you the invite, it's purely for
I'm
critique.
not invited.
You're not invited.
No, of course not. That's what I understand. I mean, I wouldn't invite me either. 'Cause if I could turn back time, if I could find a way, I'd do a bunch of different shit. And I'd do the other day.
Maybe life after love.
It's a pretty good auto tune. That must be how she did it.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, never thought I'd be on a boat. It's a great blue watery road.
That's also how SpongeBob is done.
Oh yeah.
Ah!
Yeah,
I was watching.
That's the one.
I was watching the show Mission Hill, and they actually have like the first instance of Tom Kenny doing the SpongeBob voice in an episode about like Star Trek or something like that, which is very fun to hear. But yeah, as for me, I've already announced all the things that have come out. I feel like it'd be weird if I went back and be like, "Go listen to that thing I did a month ago. Go do that thing I did a month ago."
I think you should mention at least, there's a handful of projects that are out that people should check out. They might not have seen you mention them.
Yeah,
New album, the Resident Evil video is all sorts of things.
All sorts. If you want to watch Brandon up there play Resident Evil for 3 hours with a bunch of wacky cuts and sound effects in between, go check it out. It's on our YouTube page. In fact, do we have any links for the YouTube page? Probably not. No links for the YouTube page. Go check it out. We have if you go to
on YouTube.
If you search DrawBomb, you'll find a bunch of tutorials on how to draw like little cartoon bombs. But if you type in DrawBomb live, you might get one of our episodes, and then you can follow that.
Just scroll down. Even if you just search DrawBomb, scroll down a little bit, and you'll see us. You'll know.
I hope so.
See it.
I hope so.
You'll know. Bablo Rocket says, "I'm probably more excited for Brandon's wedding than Brandon." I'm very excited for my wedding. I don't want to make it sound like I'm like a stick in the mud. I'm excited to not be planning it anymore, but I'm very excited for what we planned. I think we did a good job. It's gonna be cool. I think.
I think the festivities will be a very good time.
Yeah, it should be really cool.
But so go check out Brandon play Resident Evil. I am working on a new video of the exact same variety. It's gonna be like the sequel, essentially, but
basically,
it's our good buddy Matty F. Love him to death. What a sweetheart. He played through the game Heavy Rain a couple months back, and I offered to do a video for him. So same shit. I've been cutting together a video of him playing Heavy Rain. It's a lot of fun so far. I hope people are going to find it a good time. Of the 3 who will watch it, which are going to be me, Brandon, and Matt. But yeah, that's coming out eventually.
Oh no, Matty F actually has a following, so
that's true. Yeah. I might end up editing some videos for some other folks too. I talked with one person who they're like my streamer buddy now. Like we just kind of like check each other's streams back and forth. Her name's Daily Dana, and she's very, very nice and very sweet. And
she stream daily.
She doesn't stream daily, but she streams frequently.
What a liar!
I know. But she checks it on my stream. She rated me when I was doing House Flipper with 7 people, which was super nice.
Oh, cool.
So and like we try and like support each other's streams, and so nice. I offered to edit. She was like, I want to make some content for YouTube about The Sims. And I was like, if you need an editor, I would love to start editing video for folks because I actually have been enjoying it. So I can't say about when the timeline for that is gonna be, but I will be happy to let you folks know when Daily Dana and I start kind of collaborating on that stuff. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. Yeah. Other than that, nothing that I can really point to for a while. So.
Well, I think that about wraps it up.
Think so. Folks, thank you so much for being here. Zone Dog, Xenoots, Balbar Rocket, Leviathan Den, Crazy Kyle, DrawBomb. Is there anybody else?
I think you got everyone. I think that's all the folks.
Yeah, I think that's everybody. That's like our whole fan base right there. They were all in the chat today.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
What more could you ask for? What a
Also,
great bunch.
you have friends from work who have been... I know it doesn't, like, there's not a lot we can say about them, but to the folks who have been checking in from Brandon's work, he told me that you guys...
Fuck you.
He told me you guys have been watching us and supporting us, and to those guys who I don't know at all...
Yeah, I think a lot of them are kind of watching through the VODs. I don't know, because a lot of them work now.
Yeah.
Because I have every Monday off, they are forced to go, I think.
Oh, those poor bastards. But,
yeah, suckers.
To you suckers out there, thank you so much for the support. It's like when he told me that people other than the folks in the chat right now... did I say Balbar Rocket? Did I say Balbar Rocket when we were naming all the people in the chat?
I think you did, but...
I feel like I didn't.
If you didn't, it's because, she just doesn't... She's just so... It's so obviously that we're thanking her that you don't even have to mention it,
Obviously,
Goes without saying.
To the folks at Brandon's work who have been checking us out, first of all, what do you see in us?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah. What do we bring to the table?
Don't you have any taste? Shame
What
on
is
you.
it? What?
Of all the things you could be doing, this is what you choose to do.
I'm not sure I would watch us. I don't know.
I lost respect for them when they told me they watch, to be honest.
Yeah, you just wrote them out of your will. You were like, they can't have money. But thank you guys, seriously, we really appreciate it.
Do you leave?
No, don't go ahead. I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Do you leave things for your coworkers in your will?
Oh,
A box I shit in for Martha, who is always an asshole to me at work. That is what I bequeath to you.
I've been very fortunate. A lot of the people who I've worked with, I've really, really liked, and so
I like most of my coworkers.
Yeah. I've been fortunate throughout the years to never really have anything but love for pretty much everyone I've worked with. So,
that's pretty nice.
even for the person who sang, like, crooned at me from like 2 feet away from my face, like, very, very nice person. I feel bad that I sort of like drug them through the mud a little bit, but they were completely pleasant and a lovely person.
All they wanted was to love you, Ian.
All they wanted was my sweet dick. No, let's okay. Guys, Brandon, is there anything we're missing? Have I cut you off enough tonight?
I think we've cut each other off an equal amount.
I hope so, because I feel selfish every episode.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way, because I feel the same way, and that means we're both absolved.
Yeah, I think that as long as that evens out, I think we'll always have a good partnership.
One of us isn't secretly like the episode ending and we're like, fuck that guy, man, he always cuts me off. As long as we're both nervous that we're cutting the other one off, then I think we're doing all right.
That's a healthy balance. That's balance right there. That's the yin and the yang.
That's the balance. Xenoots says, love you guys, good night. We love you too. Bella Rocket says, thank you for the stream. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's the least we could do.
Yeah, and Crazy Kyle
dropped a GG.
He posted emotes from both of our channels, which he would only be able to do if he was subscribed to both of us. So Kyle...
That's one of your emotes? GG?
Well, I didn't make it, but Twitch has like emotes that you can sort of take, and they have a bunch of cats. So I was like,
okay,
cool. Of
course. I just didn't know.
No, yeah, that's on my channel.
As a fellow supporter of your work, I'm always excited to see something you created.
Hey, I would love to make some custom emotes for my channel. I don't know what the fuck I would do.
Shit.
I don't know what I would make an emote of. I don't have any inside jokes on my chat unless I made like a big emote of me going googie. Because that was a thing I did that one. I was talking about googie architecture when I was making brick and mortar. This has been going on forever. This is like the longest episode.
Wow. Wow, all the value they're getting out of this.
More bang for your buck. Wow. Let's just stare at the screen for another 10 minutes.
My other camera died because instead of buying another webcam, I've been using my cell phone.
He likes to switch between the two.
Instead, so now I have to look into this one.
Oh. Well,
And I...
boring camera angle.
Boring?
Boring! I can't zoom in on us because it'll completely reset the outro. But folks, thank you so much. Whoa! You changed the colors. Now we're.
I forgot I can do that. I'm gonna like mess with that and have some weird
I love it.
cues that I can do with that.
I'd love to see that. That'd be a lot of fun.
So let's see about that. I think it's time to go. That's what I think.
I like that. What you got going on right now. That's a cool look, actually. Those colors are kind of.
The fact that
That's-
I'm pale though, I look like I'm a weird like ghost in like a purple.
You're the blueberry Pop Tarts right now.
I've always wanted to be one of those.
Those are like the coolest looking Pop Tarts of all of them.
It's true. Some real complimentary colors in those.
Yeah.
And those babies.
And those swirls, they were totally going for like a fucking vaporwave vibe with those Pop Tarts, and I'm here for it.
What's your favorite Pop-Tart?
Maybe those. I don't know, because I've had plenty of like the cinnamon. Like everyone loves the cinnamon Pop Tarts the most because those are obvious.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite one.
It's like how everyone's favorite
basic.
cereal is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Like, you ever have a conversation with people about what their favorite cereal is?
It's not my favorite cereal.
What
What
is
am
your
I,
favorite-
a 6-year-old child?
What is your favorite cereal?
I don't know. I like more like less sweet things now.
Fair.
I guess I'm just a boring old man. I don't know. I like things like kind of like
I like Honey Nut Cheerios a
like
lot.
a lot of those like granola type cereals, like
Yeah.
Honey Nut Clusters and like what are the other ones? I don't know. There's like 3 different ones, but they're all just the same
Yeah.
kind of shit.
I like Honey Nut Cheerios a whole, and regular Cheerios a whole lot. And I don't even put sugar. We talked about this in another episode too. We would just rehash. Just rehash.
I think it's time for us to leave.
Just one last thing. Zone Dog says their favorite cereal is Grape Nuts, and honestly, I like those a lot.
Yeah, not bad.
They're
Not
good.
bad.
They get my grains.
I
They
don't
make-
hate grape nuts.
No, I like them a lot. I don't need a lot of like sugar in my. I just need like grains and like food that I can put in my mouth.
Have you ever had what are those? They come in like an extra small box because I think like whole grain is expensive. But they're like little squares with like holes in them. I forget what they're called. They're like, what are those things called? But they're pretty good. They're like,
I wish I could tell you. I don't.
I'm curious now. What are they? Does anyone know? Cracklin' Oat Bran. The most like old man sounding cereal.
That sounds
They're
like
actually pretty good.
That sounds like you like are in World
Cracklin'
War II.
Oat Bran.
Crackling
pretty
oats.
Bran squares. I just like it
Bran.
because it has part of my name in it.
Yeah, exactly. You got that little. They got that plug.
Yeah.
Guys, we should go.
It's time to go. We've overstayed our welcome.
We've
I
definitely overstayed. Okay, bye.
think. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.